Jason Wilde, Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Tuesday edition. The Mark Tauscher. What are you not doing here? Fishing? We're going to get to the bottom of this edition. I know what he's not doing. He's not taking photography lessons, although he should. He's got a good-looking index finger, from what I could tell from what was posted on our social media channels edition. And the It Takes a Village when Mark Tauscher's not here. Now, Jesse, I want to be clear. You and I totally could have handled this. I have no doubt about that.
I have slight doubt about
No.
it. Come
You guys
on.
do this every time I'm gone. You call Orlovsky, you call A.J. Hawk. We don't need to do that. But we do have three guests who join us during the week that we don't have as much week to work with. So because of the Thanksgiving holiday, you get Bryan Bulaga, Iowa. You get Badgers Outsider, Wisconsin. And you get Rob Demovsky, Ohio University, ESPN.com today edition.
Bobcats.
Of Wilde and Tausch.
Oh, Bob and Bobcats.
Yeah, there you go. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, which you can apparently use in Rome. The ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Tausch is big game fishing off the coast of Florida, waiting for Evan Cohen to drive across the state, even though he's not there. And from the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, our cousin sub of the day for Tausch. Cousin subs, usually we believe in better. It is Jesse Nelson. Jesse, good morning.
Thanks, Jason.
That is not a critique of you. Let me balance that out. You don't have 11 years of NFL experience. You don't have crazy ideas that you come up with out of thin air. Does soap clean itself, etc.? But as I have said on multiple platforms, both privately and publicly, outstanding, or as the Germans would say, ausgezeichnet, ja, job on the Culver's Isthmus Bowl call alongside Mike Podol, who loves to give you the heights, weights, and high schools of your players and then gives brilliant insight on top of it with a lot of energy. You guys make a good team. It was a really fun listen as I was out and about on Saturday. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate you and everyone who tuned into it. It was a lot of fun, and it is now available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. If you want to go back and watch the full game broadcast, we're going to air it a couple of times this week on ESPN Madison during the holidays. But, yeah, we had a lot of fun. That's one of our favorite events to do. It's one of my favorite events to be part of every year, the third annual Culver's Isthmus Bowl, the first ever college football bowl game played in Wisconsin. And this is the third year of it. Record attendance this year in Sun Prairie was amazing. Looking forward to being part of it in the future, too.
I got to be honest. I know we were busy yesterday with post-Packers win over Chargers talk, but I was a little surprised we didn't get any snippets during Wonelli, and there were some good ones. The safety at the end of the game with the two scoops.
I was proud of
Very
that
clever.
one. I was
Yeah.
proud of that one.
You had a great call on an interception by a young fella who is near and dear to me. So that was awesome. But I thought you did an outstanding job. I will say this. I sent you one small piece of very constructive criticism, and I feel like the old boy thought I was ripping you, which really bothered me. Like, I'm in the car. I was in and out. I was running into a couple of stores. I'd get back in. I wanted to score more frequently. And so I made that small, and it was ensconced in all kinds of praise.
It was.
I think you're doing a perfect job. He wasn't even listening.
Almost didn't see it because of all the nice things that were being
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, you did a great job.
I don't know if Old T actually tuned into any of the games.
I don't think so either. Anyway, he's not tuning in today either.
I guess he's definitely not. I don't know what we do know what he's up to.
So he yesterday, I feel like he was trying to tell Evan Cohen, among other things, how dare you reveal that I'm in Florida? And now he's like posting pictures at the basketball game last night. Big win for the Badgers over Tony Bennett and the Virginia Cavaliers. Great win for them. They advanced to the finals of the Fort Myers basketball tournament.
The tip-off, Fort Myers tip-off.
And Tausch is there, and he was taking pictures. He's Mr. Social Media now. Can't post a poll to save his life, or won't. But he's posting pictures. Do you have the photo of Badgers fans in the stands that he posted?
Yeah, so for those who aren't on the video stream, this would be an excellent opportunity to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for this visual exercise that we're about to do. So last night, here's how I want to walk you through this, Jason, because Tausch, I have a theory about what was going on at the Fort Myers tip-off last night.
Okay.
So Badgers, Virginia, big win for Bucky, 65-41 over 24th-ranked Virginia. Not sure anybody saw that coming after the first couple performances. Tausch had some pictures that he shared with our ESPN Madison team that we ended up posting, and you would think, like, this guy's got some photography skills. Like, check out this one right here up on the video stream. This is Carter Gilmore going up, getting a rebound. This is a good angle, a good action shot. Not blurry, like, pretty good.
He didn't take that.
Pretty good moment there.
He stole that from, like, AP.
I don't think he stole it from AP. He might have stolen it from somebody. More on that in a second.
Okay.
Here's another good one. So, out of a timeout, Badgers. Now, this one's a little blurrier, but still pretty good, capturing the action in the moment of the team assessing pivotal time in the game where they're trying to take the lead for good. Pretty good picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing pretty well. And then he sends this one to me and says, hey, let's share this, giving some love for our loyal Wilde and Tausch fans in Florida.
Oh, my God.
And for those who can't see it on the video stream, we've got
his finger is in the photo.
The finger in the photo is definitely what stands out most. We've got light blurring from multiple corners. We've got this guy who's coming in. I don't know what his deal is, trying to, like, lean into the picture. It seems like it was taken in, like, the wrong mode. You know how your camera has the different zoom modes where you can do, like, the wide shot or the panoramic? Because, like, there's some oblong faces in the background. We've got people leaning in and at an awkward angle.
This guy's trying to steal this kid's hat.
Like, yeah, the people leaning in behind, I don't know if they all know that they're in the picture or not, but they don't need to be all so crunched together because it's a very wide angle. You've got a beautiful view of the railing in the aisle over on the right-hand side.
That guy's not wearing any socks.
This is just a brutal picture that he said to share on all of our social platforms last night from the Fort Myers tip-off.
And I'm drinking Coors Light.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Mountains are blue. Yep.
Couple people holding up the number one. But, again, there's a guy, and, again, you don't have to always watch this on video, but if you're able to, there are some bonus features that come out of it. But there's a guy in the background that is obscured, at least his midsection, by Tausch's finger or thumb that appears to be trying to steal a boy's hat from behind.
This is one of the strangest
rabbit
photos
ears.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, one or the other. But nevertheless, we appreciate Tausch's contributions. We will miss him on today's show. Is he donezo for the week? Is he coming back tomorrow?
No, he'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. So my understanding, he's in.
Are you sure? Because he decided he wasn't doing today's show about 22 hours ago.
Rather whimsically, I would say. Yes. He was invited last minute on an excursion, which I'm sure we will hear all about to start tomorrow's show. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to hear some story of the excursion. It's a fishing trip, is my understanding. So he was invited, kind of an all-day thing. He had to miss the show in order to go and do it. Couldn't do it remotely. He could have done a remote on a boat. I guess he chose not to go about that option. So we've got things covered while he takes the day today, and we'll hear all about it tomorrow as we get set for the Packers game on Thursday.
Okay. Well, he's going to have a lot of instances of talking about Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin when he comes back, because we're not talking about him this morning.
Not today.
Because I can set him up as good as it gets. Obviously, I love Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, too. They've been great to us, but Old T is the one who's got the copy. So we'll wait for him to return from his fishing junket,
he gets
an excursion.
Fewer chances in November to get that read right, so we don't want to take any away from him.
Got to control what you can control, including shrinkflation. All right, so in his stead, during the 9 o'clock hour, even though he usually joins us on Wednesdays, Bryan Bulaga, who, by the way, I saw announced at the game that was an, quote, honorary captain after he said he wasn't going to be one.
Uh-oh.
That's what Bill Jarts called him. So much like Mark Tauscher, Ring of Honor member, I can't wait to welcome in honorary captain Bryan Bulaga, Iowa. So he will join us during the 9 o'clock hour. It is Tuesday, so the Badgers Outsider will join us, but he'll do so in the 11 o'clock hour. So we're going to move him back a little bit because Rob Demovsky of ESPN.com will join us in the 10 o'clock hour.
All of our friends today. Yeah, big day.
We've got some famous friends, and they're all on today's show, except for Tausch. Without Tausch, Bryan Bulaga joins us next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN, or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
Before and after every Wisconsin football game, the party rolls on with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Hey Badger fans, Colin Musso here. Join former Badgers Chris Orr, Brad Nordman, and myself at Pooley's in Sun Prairie for ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame. Previewing the Axe game. Wisconsin on the road to reclaim the Axe at Minnesota. 2:30 kickoff. Show starts 12:30.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, before and after every Wisconsin football game on 100.5 ESPN.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Win a Coors Light full court experience with a trip to Minneapolis this March. Sign up now at participating locations around Madison to win an all-inclusive trip to the men's college basketball conference tournament. Don't miss your shot. Enjoy Blue Mountains and the best men's hoops in the Midwest. One lucky winner will be announced on Rutledge and Hamilton on January 8th. Visit Scotty Bar, Lucky's, Jordan Big Ten Pub, Nitty Gritty, Wando's, and Pooley's to scan the QR code and enter today. Must be 21 or older to enter. No purchase necessary.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview of the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
I am so glad that this is the walk-up music he chose, because I had never heard this song before. And now I play it all the time when I'm not playing Christmas music prematurely. He is a Farmers Are Important Award winner or something to that effect at Iowa. No truth to the rumor, he is their next offensive coordinator, as we established last week. And he was, despite claims to the contrary. I heard Bill Jards announce it after he announced his official retirement with the Packers from the National Football League. I heard Bill Jarts tell us to welcome our honorary captains for the Packers' win over the Chargers. One of them was Bryan Bulaga. Bryan, good morning. You lied to me.
I didn't know that that's what that was considered. I just thought it was considered honorary alumni.
Well, you deserved all the cheers. You brought someone with you onto the field. Tell people who you brought with you.
I did. I brought my son, Declan. He wanted to go down on the field, and, he was just going to stand off to the side, but someone that kind of runs all those intros and things like that, her name's Gabrielle. I've known her now for a few years, and she was like, no, your son's going with you.
He's
going out there on the field with you. So she's like, he's going there with you. So he was able to walk out. He really enjoyed it. It was pretty cool.
So we spend a lot of time breaking down tackle talk and offensive line play, and we'll do that. But take us through. I gave you a lot of grief, but I didn't mean most of it, maybe a little bit of it. But you announce your retirement. You do a press conference, which I did not boycott. I had to take Maddie to Nutcracker practice in Milwaukee. But
Fair.
You held a very long press conference. You got to talk about a lot of different things. You got celebrated, and then on Sunday, we celebrated you again. How was the full experience of officially, as Tausch likes to say, dying as an NFL player? And this was kind of the funeral for your football career.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that my funeral, it was like right on the doorstep. Like, it was already there. It was just a matter of like closing the coffin shut. So like, it's not like it was
I don't like this.
I didn't see that coming. That was perfect.
It's not like it was a crazy secret or anything like that. But no, it was a great weekend, and what made it really cool is that obviously, my wife and kids got to experience it. My parents, they drove up from Illinois, and then my brother surprisingly flew in randomly from Scottsdale on Friday or on Saturday night.
Wow.
Randomly just flew in and got to the house. And then a couple of my buddies back from Illinois, they bought tickets last minute and drove up from Illinois. So we all got to kind of hang out for the day, and that was pretty cool. So I got to experience everything, and to get back out on Lambeau, regardless of it, just walking out with my son or if you're playing, it's still a really cool experience to walk out there with the stadium full and kind of feel that energy and feel that atmosphere. So it was a great weekend, one that I know we won't forget, and I'm very thankful that the Packers allowed me to experience it.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because you ran out of that tunnel many, many times as a starter during your career. How was it different, and what did Declan think after you guys got done? Because that had to be super cool for him to experience.
Yeah, so, when I remember when I would run out of the tunnel, you would hear noise, but, I was so dialed in to, what was about to happen in the next, 7 minutes that I wasn't really thinking about the moment as I walked out there. You watch a lot of guys do pregame, runouts, and they're turning around and kind of soaking it in. And I never did that because I was just like, all right, got to go out here. This is about to be a really fun day. I'm going to go beat my head against the wall for 60 minutes here. Here we go. Let's get ready to go do this. So to do it this time around and to kind of be able to enjoy it and look around and see the sights and see the people, you're looking around the stadium, you don't have a helmet on, and you're kind of just slowly going out there, and you get to look at individual people. It's really weird. It's not something you would think, but you're looking around the stadium and you're able to see everyone individually, and it's a really cool experience. And when we got done walking through, Declan was like, wow, that was awesome. He was like, that was really cool. He goes, so you ran out here every week? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we did it. We did it every game. He goes, we did it every game. And then we stayed on the field for the guys to run out, and he thought that was awesome with the new fire and stuff that we never had. We didn't have any fire when we ran out of the tunnel. So he thought that was pretty cool. And then with the flyover, we were on the field for that. So it was he was very impressed by the pregame theatrics that the Packers do now, which, I don't need the fire or the smoke or anything like that. It's not really my thing, but I think it's pretty cool that they do it now.
So one more thing about you being celebrated, because you did deserve it. I enjoy giving you a hard time, but I'm curious about the actual logistics. I know they word it in the press release as Bryan Bulaga, or insert player here because Jordy's done it, City's done it, a few others have. Bryan Bulaga has informed the team of his intention to retire as a Packer. So do you sign a ceremonial contract? Do they give you, is there a cap and gown like you would have at graduation? What exactly do they do with you when you inform them that you want to do this?
Well, when you communicate with this, obviously right now in a season, it's pretty difficult to do the whole signature and thing like that, because if you actually did it that way, that would require them to release a player. So they would have to then cut a player to sign me for a day, all right? And then I retire and then try to hopefully re-sign that player the next day. So, if you did it, to the literal sense, you would have to cut a guy.
Right.
So that doesn't really play well within a season, if you know what I mean. It's not really, something you're looking to do. And obviously, I was talking to my agent about it. The last time I talked to my agent was probably, months ago about it. He's like, if you really want to go down that route, we can press them on it, but I'm not too sure how fond they're going to be of having to cut a guy to sign you for a day. And then you – I'm like, yeah. I go, you know what? I don't really want to be the guy that gets a guy cut and then weird stuff happens. Like, I'm like, that's not really what I'm looking for.
Right.
Like, I'm not really looking to get a guy cut for a day because I want to be so selfish to retire and do it the harmonious way of literally signing on a dotted line for, 5 hours and then retiring. Like, that's like unfair to a guy. So we just did it the more like low key, way, and that's just kind of announcing it, and whatever it is. Like, it's just kind of, and that's why Homer gives me such a hard time. And I understand it, like I get it, but I told him, it's not really, it's obviously the fan base really likes it just because they see their players retiring as a player of their favorite team, and obviously with Green Bay, that's special to the people that are fans of the Packers. So it's for them for one, and two, it's for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's more special for myself and my family. It's a journey complete, and that's the way I try to explain it to them. Like, you start your journey here, your journey went so well in your time there was adversity, but you want that journey to end there. You don't want it to end. I mean, and this is no shot at the Chargers, but my journey shouldn't end as an LA Charger. It just isn't. It's just not right. At least in my mind, it wasn't. So for it to come full circle and end back with the Packers is kind of the way I wanted it. And, I feel like a lot of the fans of the Packers that follow the team closely, that love the team, that kind of knew when I was there in the era that we were in and how good we were and the great teams we had and the joy we brought people in those 10 years that I was there, I think it was the right thing as well.
This isn't just something the Packers do, right? It's just we hear more about it that the Packers do it, but like other teams allow players to come back and retire as members of them, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They do. I think there's just something about the Packers and guys that do it because people don't get how special it is there until you play there and you experience it. Like it's really hard. Like, I try to explain it to people that you have to look at it as how much do you love your college? Like, if you went to, I went to Iowa, guys go to Madison or Ohio State, like, you get that small town vibe of your college and how much you played for your college and how much you loved it and you love the environment. Like, you get that in Green Bay. Like, you get that vibe from the minute you step on to when you leave. And, that's the type of passion and commitment you carry to when you're a Green Bay Packer, to the team, to the fans. And it's a special thing. So, like, I feel like when guys do it in Green Bay, it's more like a coming home type thing. Like, you look at the guys in the past that have done it, like obviously Jordy, City, John Kuhn, like those are guys that, will always be remembered in Green Bay because of all the great things that we accomplished in the 10 years that we were there. I get it. One Super Bowl, and that's going to be the thing that people say, you only won one. I get it. I understand. But listen, man, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but we did win a lot of football games. We won a lot of NFC North titles, which has been a struggle here the last few years. It's not as easy as it looks. Teams catch up, and teams were trying to catch up to us for 10 years. And we somehow continued to, rise our level of play and keep the bar high. And obviously 17 and 18, that slipped. Then we got it right back in 19, and then they continued out in 20 and 21. So, like, it's not easy to do. So there's been a lot to love and cheer about in Green Bay over the last 10, 12 years.
Well, I'm glad that you got to celebrate your Packers career and your 11 games that you played for the Los Angeles Chargers. So that had to be special that they were there.
Yeah, that made it really special. Like those 2 years and 11 games I played really, that it was really fun for me. And I can laugh about it now. Like, as bad as I feel, like when I did a stadium tour and there were Chargers fans there, like, I apologized to them. Like, no joke. Like, I literally apologized to the Chargers fans. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I really am. Like, listen, I didn't want it to go that way, and it went that way, and I'm really sorry. But, like, when you herniate 3 discs in your back and you tear your adductor off your pelvic bone, like, it just, it's difficult. Like, stuff just doesn't work out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm very sorry. But, they no hard feeling. Like, it's not that I hated the organization because there were a lot of good guys. Obviously, you know, there were positives and there were negatives.
Corey was there? Yeah.
Yeah, Corey was there for a year. And, you know, Abby and I, we're just Midwest people. So, like, it was hard to fit in Southern California for us. It was just hard.
And with COVID.
And with COVID in 2020, it was even worse. So, yeah, it was a tough couple years, and then injuries on top of it, and the team wasn't very good. Like, it's hard. So, no hard feelings, but, like, I'm just a Green Bay Packer, man, and that's just the way it is.
Bryan, I was listening. Actually, I was watching Green Bay game day on Sunday morning when you were joining the guys out at the Tundra Trio outside of Lambeau Field. And I heard you say that was your first game day experience, like, in Green Bay that you got to experience. What was it like from the start until game time when you did all the extra ceremonial stuff, but being out with the fans and everything ahead of time? Like, it never struck me that, like, that was your first time ever there experiencing anything outside the stadium until you said it that morning.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Like, you know, I think Strope was giving me a hard time because I had a beer at 8 in the morning. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm like, yes, I'm having a morning beer, and maybe even 3. Like, yes. I woke up, I walked to the stadium with a beer in my hand, and then I got to the tailgate, and I even had another beer. So, like, of course, I'm going to experience that whole aspect of tailgating and game day. It was awesome, though. Like, the energy, people are just in a good mood, right? Like everyone's in a great mood when you're walking around the stadium. And it was just a really fun atmosphere. I see now why tailgating is so popular. And, you know, when I'd be driving in for the game when I was playing, I'm like, man, what are these people doing out here this early? Like, why are they here? I mean, I'm getting to the game 3.5, 4 hours early, and people have already been set up for like an hour and a half. Like, what are they doing? And now I walk around, I'm like, I see what they're doing. They're having fun, and that's like, that's what it's all about. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I next time I go, I'm going to really spend the full time doing. Because I had to go in the stadium and do some other things, but this time around, or next time around, I'm going to really soak it in.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for leaving Green Bay game day before I got there, since I stiffed you on your press conference. That story about apologizing to the Chargers fans, though, was great.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I felt bad. I mean, you know, because obviously, like, you know, the Chargers fans are up there for the stadium tour, and who's the special guest that you guys get? Bryan Bulaga, the guy that played for you for 2 years, but didn't really play for you for 2 years. Like, it was just, they were probably like that. You know, they probably thought of some, you know, expletives in their heads when I walked through. But you know what? That's okay. Like, that's all right. Like, guys, no hard feelings here. I know you're upset, but, you know, let's call this water under the bridge. All right?
Thank you for your service. All 11 games of it. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
We got a lot we want to get to with you because Tom Brady said something that I thought was really interesting that I want to get to. I want to get your thoughts on the game and what you thought of both the offensive line play and what this game could turn out to be for this young team. We'll talk about that as we continue with Bryan Bulaga after Tausch tells us about his love for Coors Light. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Mark Tauscher here, and if I'm not hosting Wilde and Tausch, odds are I'm out enjoying a cold, refreshing Coors Light. Whether you're celebrating a big win or you just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light. Coors Light, it is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains, oh, those mountains, on Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans turn blue. That's when you know it's chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Well, with the holidays approaching, everyone is thinking about ways they can save a few bucks to be able to spend more time with our loved ones. Well, what if I told you there's a way you can save money and save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar? Take back control of your energy bill with a switch to solar. Trust me, my family worked with the team at Everlight Solar to make the switch, and man, are we happy we did. From the very first conversation, the Everlight Solar team educated us on all the benefits of switching to solar. And you know how much I appreciate keeping things simple. Everlight makes that switch super easy. Join us in saving money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Rye toast the best toast, right? Would you agree with that?
Rye's terrible.
Rye's terrible?
No, I think he's got a point there. I think.
Why are you looking at me like that, Cece?
No, because you're the only one that thought that quite literally in this building.
Dan and I like rye toast. What's the number one toast for you? If you have to get a toast, like with your eggs or whatever.
Sourdough, easily.
Sourdough.
Easily.
That's a great thing.
With a little butter, a little
That's
jelly. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, a little pumpernickel.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Hi, I'm Medicine Money Guy Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, here's out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number two, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number three, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number four, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends.
Continuing with retired Packer, honorary captain, and in the years ahead, future Packers Hall of Famer, Bryan Bulaga, on Wilde and Tausch. Bryan, all right, enough about you. Let's talk about the game. What did you see in between Coors Lights from this team, and what do you think this game could be for them? Because, look, it's a tough task on Thanksgiving in Detroit. I think you played in maybe one. I know they were there last in 13, right? Which was not a great year for you. But what did you think of what you saw when your one former team played your other former team?
Yeah, I actually I was really impressed watching them live. I was really impressed. The Chargers are a good team. Like, they are. Like, I get what their record is, and I understand it. But they have a lot of very talented players on that team. I know that roster well. I've played with a lot of those guys, and there's a lot of talent on the Los Angeles Chargers. So that's a good win in my book. And what the Chargers have going on right now, we could talk about that at another time. They got some issues there with coaching and things like that. But that's a different story. The players are the guys in the field that are doing it, and the Chargers have a lot of very talented guys. So I look at that as a good win. It's a great win for Jordan Love and the way he performed. He was standout. He was really good. And to see that performance from him live was special. But I walked away from that game, seeing it live and then on TV is two different things. When you're there live, maybe it was just this week, but I was really impressed with the team speed on offense. The young wide receivers, those guys are moving on the field. There's a lot of speed with those young guys, Dobbs, Wicks, Reed. There's some talent there, and it's no surprise that they're raising their level of play, and Jordan Love is performing better. There's no coincidence there. And then obviously the offensive line is also raising their game little by little, which then will help the quarterback. So I walked away very impressed.
So when you talk about the speed and those guys playing well, because they did, right? Every single one of those young guys had at least one play. Watson had the touchdown. Dobbs had the go-ahead touchdown late and had some other plays. Wicks, 3 catches for 91 yards, all 3 of his catches for 25 yards or more. We saw what Jaden Reed did on the touchdown run. Malik Heath had his first NFL reception, and he had a block or two that were important in the run game. We know what Luke Musgrave can do, but Tucker Kraft had a big play. It would have been even bigger if he had stayed in bounds. So that's encouraging. My question is, how sustainable is it? Because we got old boy who's off on his fishing trip today, putting, that's why he's not here. He's fishing.
Literally gone fishing.
Pretty amazing.
Very nice.
But we've obviously got good news on that. But Tausch has got him in the Pro Bowl. He's got Love in the Pro Bowl. We're talking playoffs. What other quarterbacks would you want? Like he swings with the pendulum a little bit, and I think Thursday might swing the pendulum back a little bit. So how sustainable is what you saw?
I don't know if I'm with Tausch on all the jump to conclusions here. I'm not quite there yet. Because you're right. It's going to be a tough go the next 2 weeks. These are not easy games. They're tough games. I get we watched the Chiefs struggle a little bit last night, but that was against Philly, and Philly is they're an NFC Championship caliber team. Let's just say it what it is. That's a tough sledding game. So I think that it's sustainable for the last 5 games.
Yes.
Right? Like these next 2 are going to be really tough. And if you can somehow steal one or potentially just stay close in them to build confidence that you're competing against 2 of the best teams in each given conference, and you keep these ball games close, and maybe you steal one, man, now we could potentially talk about playoffs because there's 5 very winnable ones at the end. But I'm not there yet with giving out Pro Bowls to Jordan Love and things like that. I'm not there yet. But listen, I am at the point with him that I can see him, if he continues on this trend, to be the guy in Green Bay.
God.
I can see that. Am I saying?
It's like you and I are the same person, except you're slightly taller and slightly more athletic. But I'm with you.
Yeah, I just don't wanna be the person that after one really good game, or he had 2 good weeks in a row, maybe 3 we can even call it, be like, all right, Pro Bowl, give him the $50 million a year, let's go. Like, I'm not there yet.
Right.
I do think he can develop, and listen, I don't want to talk about numbers with quarterbacks these days because, they're so inflated, and the quarterbacks, you could be halfway decent and make $45, $50 million a year. It's really unbelievable. But I think that he can be the guy for the future if he continues the growth that he's shown over the last few weeks into the rest of the season and into the start of next season. That's the way I like to look at it.
Yep. I agree. And I agree with you on the playoff thing. If they can steal one of these next two, suddenly that becomes a much more realistic possibility. All right. I know you've got an appointment, so two things we need to get to. We can't keep you as long as we normally do. One, what did you see from the offensive line? They rotated all game long at left tackle. They rotated number 75, which they didn't give back to you upon your retirement, for one series again. That's all Sean Ryan got. It was not a true rotation. What did you see on the line?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Rasheed Walker. I thought he played really well. And, like I've always told you on this, when guys play well, I got to give them their due. And it could be a week before that I kind of get after them a little bit. And I only judge it based off what I see, right? Like I'm an offensive lineman. You are who you are on tape, and that's just what it is. I thought he performed well. I thought he did really well against Mac. Mac kind of made his hay against Yash a little bit. That's kind of the way that worked out. But yeah, I mean, we get a series from Sean Ryan. It's really like it was the same way with the Rams. Like I liked what I saw, but like it's not enough to like really give him a true, honest assessment, right? Like you can't really give a great assessment based on a series. It's the same thing here. Like, I thought he did some good things. Am I putting the horse before or the cart before the buggy, or the cart before the horse? There we go. I got it. No, I can't do that. But I can say that, like, and I hate doing this every week, but like John Runyon didn't have the best game. He didn't perform great. Like, and that's, and I feel like that's a common theme here. But like the thing is, like, if we're going to give Sean Ryan a series, why don't we give him three? If we're going to rotate at left tackle, why don't we do it at right guard? If we're comfortable doing it for the blind side of the quarterback, we should be comfortable doing it right in front of the quarterback's face on the right side. So it's just one of those things where I'm not understanding it. Like, and listen, I saw all the line coaches and the guys and stuff like that, and I wasn't going to ask Butkus or Steno any of these questions because, I mean, that wasn't really my time to ask those things.
Uh-oh.
I must be driving in the middle of nowhere, wherever he might be.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there with Bryan. Oh, wait. All right. I think we lost him. Oh, there you are. Hello? No, he's gone.
Yep, he's out of here.
All right, that's too bad.
See you, Bryan.
Bye, Bryan. So that's too bad because the one question I wanted to ask him was if he and Josh Myers got together while he was there. Guess we'll have to find out later.
I have a question that I want to ask you about what he said and what you guys were in agreement on Jordan Love and the assessment of when to pay him. So
no, wait a minute. That was not the part that I was in agreement on with him. But we could talk about that since we lost Bryan.
Yep.
We'll talk about that next. Nelson and Tausch and me too.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The Wisconsin Badgers football team will look to regain the axe for the first time since 2020 this Saturday as they play Minnesota in the regular season finale. Former Badger Sojourn Shelton joined the Mr. Relevant podcast on Monday and stressed the importance of this rivalry.
It's huge, especially for the fact it was brought to my attention that I think Minnesota only has 5 wins. What better feeling to not only win the axe back, send Minnesota home packing.
Find the full conversation with Sojourn Shelton wherever you get your podcast. Just search Mr. Irrelevant.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Join the Prairie Athletic Club this winter and save on your membership for the rest of the year. Hi, this is Sarah Tauscher. Get out of the cold and into the pack with a ton of new equipment. And now, Prairie Athletic Club is offering 3-month winter memberships. This is their best membership special for the remainder of the year. Stop by Prairie Athletic Club today or visit prairieathletic.com to check out all of their membership specials. That's prairieathletic.com. Prairie Athletic Club. Family fun community.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I just don't want to be the person that after one really good game, or she had 2 good weeks in a row, maybe 3 we can even call it, be like, all right, give him the $50 million a year, let's go. Like, I'm not there yet. I do think he can develop, and listen, I don't want to talk about numbers with quarterbacks these days because they're so inflated, and the quarterbacks, you could be halfway decent and make $45, $50 million a year. It's really unbelievable. I think that he can be the guy for the future if he continues the growth that he's shown over the last few weeks into the rest of the season and into the start of next season.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I got no problem saying that. The if there that Bryan delivers, and thanks to Bryan Bulaga for spending some time with us today, a little bit early this week. Yeah, but that's a huge if, right? And we're definitely not giving him $50 million today based on a performance against one of the worst pass defenses in the league. But if he continues the growth we've seen in the last 3 weeks, I don't know how you're not encouraged by this. If you aren't encouraged by what you've seen over the past 3 weeks from Jordan Love, you just don't want him to succeed. You just have decided that he sucks. Now, there are going to be games in the coming days, perhaps as soon as the day after tomorrow, where he's not going to be very good. Those days are still out there. I said this morning to Gabe and Chewy on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I feel, Jesse, like I'm constantly having to put my thumb on the scale. Like when things are going poorly and the feeling bad, pessimism, frustration part is the lower part of the scale, I'm putting my thumb on the positive side to try and level them out. And then when things that are good happen, then I have to be like, hey, well, wait a minute now. Yeah, the last 3 games have definitely been encouraging. You should feel really good about it. But there are hard times ahead again. And there's probably going to be a game out of those last 5 where he's not going to play very well in a game that we think they should win. Because that's what young players do.
It does feel to me, and I can share an analogy while Tausch isn't here, so it won't get ridiculed.
It won't
too
be graded,
badly.
yeah.
It feels like you're on the ground watching the amusement park ride go, the one where it goes like the big boat-looking thing where it's like the pendulum that goes all the way this way, and then they come swinging through, and everyone goes, ah! And then it goes all the other way. I feel like you're standing right down, like you're the guy working the controls, and everybody else is on the ride.
They are, and I understand. That's fine as fans. You know, everybody jokes about me not being a fan. Well, these are aspects of not being a fan, and I think that's my job, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. Be excited about what you've seen from him the last 3 weeks. Putting him in the Pro Bowl felt a little premature from the big fella. I'm not saying, but I'm saying, but I'm not saying, but I'm saying that shtick that he did yesterday. But you should be encouraged. Do not take that for, this is a fluke, because I don't think it is. It's progress. Will it be enough progress? I don't know. But Mitchell Trubisky had a 6-touchdown game. Mitchell Trubisky went to a Pro Bowl in 2018 in his 2nd season. So pump the brakes on whether or not he is going to be good enough to be the guy that gets you another title, because that ultimately is the measure. That is what you're searching for. So we'll have to wait and see if that's him. But right now we have to worry about Thursday and their Thanksgiving game in Detroit. We'll talk more about that. We've got Rob Demovsky scheduled to appear during the 10 o'clock hour, and then we've got the Badgers Outsider. Finally, something positive to talk about after the Badgers win in thrilling fashion over Nebraska on Saturday night. So we'll talk to him about that during the 11 o'clock hour. I want to remind you, we talk Packers around here all the time. We also talk about Associated Bank all the time. They've been a great partner to us from the very beginning. It's been great to have them on board. And they've been on board with the Packers since the very beginning for them as well in 1919, as opposed to 2016 for Wilde and Tausch. And if you're a Packers fan, there's no better place to be than Associated Bank with Associated Bank's Packers Checking. Not only do you get to show your fandom with your Packers Debit MasterCard, you also get 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop, both in-store and online. So go to AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. Associated Bank, the official bank of the Packers since 1919. We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour. Oddly enough, on time. I wonder what the variable is in that kind of thing happening on this program. That starts in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison. for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Big basketball night around the state of Wisconsin, including for the Wisconsin Badgers. 65-41 winners over 24th-ranked Virginia in the opening round of the Fort Myers tip-off. Nice night offensively for a couple of the bigs for the Badgers. Stephen Crowell, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Tyler Wall, 9 points, along with 10 rebounds to lead Wisconsin in the win. The Badgers will face SMU, the Mustangs, Wednesday night in the Fort Myers tip-off championship game. Tip time set for approximately 7:30. Big night out in Hawaii for 4th-ranked Marquette. In the midnight hour, they come back to beat UCLA. That's literally, it was like 12:40 in the morning when they got the win last night. 71-69, Marquette beats UCLA. How about this for a matchup tonight at the Maui Invitational second round? 4th-ranked Marquette, number 1 ranked Kansas in a semifinal. Maui, wowie, 9:30 tip time on ESPN and the app.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now.
The 11 o'clock hour is next. It's the 10 o'clock hour now. Whoops.
Nice.
That's what happens when you brag about your clock management. Karma gets you.
Good thing someone isn't here to give you some grief about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he would have just let that slide. Tausch is out fishing in the Gulf of Mexico or somewhere. And he's taking pictures sometimes at the Fort Myers Tip-Off Classic where the Badgers won. Who do they play tonight?
They're off tonight. SMU in the championship game on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Thanksgiving week. Everything's off.
That's tomorrow. Wednesday's tomorrow.
You stay up and watch Marquette last night?
I did not, but I will watch them tonight while I'm working for sure as they advance in the Maui Invitational. A Maui wowie of a win.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And now they will face number 1 ranked Kansas. Time is that tip on the Marquette Radio Network?
9:30 tip tonight out in Honolulu.
So I don't want to assume anything. Steve the Homer True is in Honolulu, Hawaii, calling the games?
He is, yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's walking around the beach with like a Speedo on?
I hope not. For a number of reasons.
Do you think he would do that if we asked him to?
I
mean, he's willing to do just about anything. He brings back his old toupee from his Channel 12 days. Speedo for Homer.
I don't doubt that he would. I wouldn't challenge him to do it. But I also, I don't know what he does. Didn't we have this conversation? They were in Maui or some tournament not that long ago when he joined us, and he didn't do, anything when he went. Orlando, it might have been. I forgot what tournament they were at, but he didn't do anything. He went and he just stayed in the hotel, went and called a basketball game, went home. We should talk to him tomorrow and talk him into, doing something fun before he comes home from Hawaii.
I think if he walks the beach in a Speedo and we did it as some sort of fun, because look, despite what he likes to play the grumpy old man and the crazy guy and all the other stuff he likes to do, but he is the most generous person I know. If we included some sort of charitable component to it, I think he would pose for a photo in front of the ocean wearing a Speedo. I think
Why do you want this so badly?
Because it's funny.
It's when
funny.
Bruss trying to be convinced me to wash his car wearing the same thing. What is with you people?
It's just something funny about a Speedo. If you're not like Greg Louganis or Michael Phelps, there's just something funny about normal people wearing those. Some people wear them at the beach because they think they look good, and they usually don't. But that's just me. All right, we talked about Jordan Love, and I want to talk about this with you, Jesse, because you had a question, and I want to be able to discuss it with Rob when he joins us, because he just posted his story about even if Jordan Love and the Packers offense take a step back on Thanksgiving, it's hard not to change the viewpoint that there are very encouraging signs that came out of Sunday, as we just talked about with Bryan.
Yeah, so Bulaga's saying, like, he's not ready to pay Jordan Love after 1, 2, even 3 good performances in a row. And I think that's what most of us feel right now. Like, Tausch, I know the other day on Green Bay game night, was like, yep, give him the bag. He's ready. Like, this is our guy. Goody believes he's the guy. Go ahead. And I think everyone's looking at this from the standpoint or the viewpoint of Goody making the decision, or Mark Murphy getting involved and encouraging the decision, or Matt LaFleur encouraging the decision to say, like, yes, let's commit to this guy. What about Jordan Love? At what point does Jordan Love not get a contract if he feels like he's proven that he's the guy after so many consistently solid performances? And let's say 3 more games go by. Detroit, Kansas City, and I forget who the other one is in this next stretch.
I think the next one is the Giants on the road
on
Monday Night Football.
So let's say they miraculously beat the Lions on Thursday in Detroit. And
that would be miraculous.
Like signature win of the year type material, beating the Lions on Thanksgiving. Then they play competitive against Kansas City. Love plays well, kind of a revenge game for him after that COVID disaster a couple of years ago. And then they go out and just destroy the Giants on Monday night. So they win 3 out of 4 games. Love's playing well. 5 or 6 games in a row, you can say he's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that Goody might say, let's just wait till the end of the year at this point. Like, we don't need to make the decision right now. Would Jordan Love or Jordan Love's agent at any point be like, hey, let's get this done right now. This guy's ready to commit. You should commit and pony up to this guy. Otherwise, we're not going to sign anything this offseason. We're going to play hardball, and he's going to have some big offers coming his way after next season. Like, has anyone considered that concept yet?
So you know what you're doing here, right? Whoa! Whoa!
We're on the ride. Yeah, we're on the ride.
Look, he's been good. He's been good. He's been very encouraging. And I was, I felt like a little bit like the lone wolf talking after the Pittsburgh game about the growth, and I was getting chastised for, there's no such thing as moral victories and this and that. And then, as I said, he parlayed that into another good performance, and they won the game, and that was so valuable. But again, not just Thursday, but whether it's the Chiefs or whether it's I believe there will be a game in the last 5, and we're guilty of, we do this all the time. We did it at the start of the year. Well, those are all really winnable games, except everybody's looking at the Packers going, every opponent is saying, well, that's a winnable game, right? So that could be a crapshoot, those 5 games. I could see them going 4-1. I could see them going 2-3. So somewhere Tausch is out in the middle of the ocean, and he's singing Natasha Bedingfield. The rest is still unwritten.
But Jordan Love might not want it to be unwritten. He might want to say, I've written enough.
So I would never presume that Jordan and I are so tight that he would take my advice. I tried to give him advice about sliding because I just don't want him to get hurt because I like him. He doesn't have to listen to that either. But my advice to him would be, and frankly, my advice to both sides. So I saw Russ Ball in the press box as well. I would say this to him, and I would say this to Jordan. I would say to Russ, hey, you got him under contract. Don't overreact to 3 solid to good performances. You don't need to pony up now. You signed him to this half-measure deal for a reason, because it bought you time at an inexpensive cost as opposed to the fifth-year option, to spend this year and next year figuring out if he's truly the guy. And I know Tausch doesn't like the comp to Mitchell Trubisky, but again, he had a 6-touchdown game. He went to a Pro Bowl. Do you think Bears fans got their hopes up for him at the time, just like we are for Jordan Love today? Absolutely they did. Even Jim Rutledge would acknowledge that. It didn't turn out like he was the guy. And I'm not sure Justin Fields is the guy either. Maybe Caleb Williams will be. So we can't. I'm really happy for Jordan, and I like him, and I'm glad that he played well, and I hope for his sake and for Packers fans' sake who are so devoted to our show, he continues to do so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to have some hiccups still this season. So from the Packers' perspective, I'd say hold off. From Jordan's perspective, I would say I'm going to hold off, and next year when these guys know what the hell they're doing around me, like you kind of saw them doing against the Chargers, and I'm sure we're going to see another game or two where they're all in sync again. If I'm Jordan Love, that number better be damn big for me to sign it during the 2024 season. Because, yes, I want to mitigate the risk of getting hurt. But if I play lights out in 2024 and I stay healthy, I'm going to make myself some really big money. I respect the hell out of guys that bet on themselves. And he will have that opportunity to do that. What he will need to figure out, if this is a sign of what he is going to ultimately be, and he continues on this trajectory, and we're 8 games into 2024, and he's had maybe a blip or two, but he's mostly looked like he did against the Chargers, the decision he's going to have to make is, are they making me a good enough offer to avoid the risk of playing out the rest of the season to make even more money, take the bird in the hand contract they're offering me after 8 games, so that way I know I've gotten my one big payday, and then if I keep outperforming expectations, they're going to have to re-up me again like they did with Aaron Rodgers before me. I hope that's the case, because the Packers will be much more interesting to cover and talk about if that's the case. I've got a few colleagues who will remain nameless that in the weeks leading up to Sunday, we're talking about how they were frustrated that they weren't going to be bad enough to be in the discussion for the number 1 overall pick, and it's more fun to do mock draft talk and that sort of stuff when you're going to be the first overall pick or top 3.
It's true.
And now we're talking about, hey, they still went here. They could be a playoff team. That's the reality of the NFL. So we're gonna follow this journey. People are gonna swing on the whoa.
I'm liking the pendulum. That's fun.
Does it pick up the change?
It does.
In the volume?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's
yeah.
good.
Who do you think wants to sign first ultimately? Do you think Jordan Love wants to lock in? I've played well. Let's make this an official contract and pay me big time before things go south. Or do you think the Packers say, let's pay you before you become a superstar and we have to pay you more?
I think Jordan's mentality is not pay me before things go south. It is mitigate the risk of, look at this season in quarterbacks. Like, I'm knocking on wood for him because nothing against Sean Clifford, but I don't want to see Sean Clifford. I want to see the Packers get 17 games of evaluation of Jordan Love for this year, and then whatever they need next year before a contract. So if I'm Jordan Love, that is the question. If I keep playing this way, has the number reached a point where it's better to take it and avoid the risk of something catastrophic happening? And hopefully that doesn't happen in the final 7 games because, Joe Burrow's done for the season. Like we have seen, this has been a really rough year for quarterbacks. So I would not want to put myself at risk next year because let's all be honest, doesn't matter. I don't think he's getting a contract this year. They're not extending him again. And I'm not even sure they're allowed to based on the contract they signed him to last year, to check that fact. The bottom line is I hope he stays healthy so they can evaluate him, and if he's going to play well, so he can continue his trajectory. All right, we need to get ready for Rob Demovsky, who's going to join us coming up. We'll ask him about this idea. We'll also ask him about his story that he's got up right now at ESPN.com and ESPNWisconsin.com about how that game that we watched on Sunday against the Chargers could very well be the red letter date on the Jordan Love trajectory. We'll talk to him about that as well. I want to talk to you about the red letter date, that it's time for our second annual Jingle for Your Kringle Championship. You could win Kringle for a year from Racine Danish Kringles if you win Jingle for Your Kringle. Now, look, this doesn't have to be as involved as Jesse and Tausch and the Academy. Like, you can literally take your iPhone, take the voice message function, and record yourself singing White Christmas, but put in Kringle terms. It's not. This does not have to have the production quality of that creepy Jesse Nelson elevator thing, Mr. Tauscher.
Oh, yeah, I haven't defended myself from that headline. Yeah, we did a great job last week.
That was creepy, and I didn't like it. And if you look at the actual video that's based on, you're really not going to like it. But be that as it may, get involved with our Jingle for Your Kringle contest. The only requirement lyrically is you have to include their tagline. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition. You got to include that somewhere in your song. Other than that, you got free reign. Take Christmas Tree Farm like Sid did in the commercial from Taylor Swift and change it up, whatever you want to do. And it's not that hard. All you got to do is submit your jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. And if you want to send Kringle to your friends and family, all you got to do is go to Kringle.com or just give them a call at 800-4-DANISH. That's 800-4-DANISH. It's Jingle for Your Kringle from our friends at Racine Danish Kringles. Rob Demovsky from ESPN.com joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Got it. History at Camp Randall Stadium. Carter Butt with his 5th touchdown carry of the day, most ever in a Division VII state championship game.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details on rents 11/30/2023.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard? So he could flip it.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
The holidays are coming quick, and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is the place to be this holiday season. Whether you're entertaining your top clients or rewarding your favorite teammates, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is the spot for you. And of course, if you have family in town or you're looking for a holiday dinner with your significant other, there's no better place to take them than Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. As always, don't miss that horseshoe bar, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. The best place to go, especially this holiday season.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
The boss brings us into our time with, I don't know if he's a boss. He's really good at his job. We're happy to have him as a teammate. And he joins us either from his Lambeau Field office or from that seafoam green study of his home. It is ESPN.com's Rob Demovsky. Rob, good morning. How are you?
I am at home.
You'll be at Lambeau for Locker Room while I'm still doing this program. But do you ever feel misunderstood?
All the time.
So you are not a fan. You are a fan of De Pere basketball. You're a fan of Lawrence University basketball. Bruce Springsteen, Frank Turner, the Toledo Rockets.
Can't wait to see where this is going.
What else are you a fan of? Airborne Toxic Event.
The Gaslight Anthem.
The Gaslight Anthem. But you're not a Packers fan, nor am I. It is our job to accurately depict what is going on with them and try and put in perspective and deliver insight. And I thought your piece today was very good because we may look back on Sunday as the moment where we started to finally think this guy can be the guy. And he's played well, Jordan Love has, for the most part over the last 3 weeks. So there is a trend line to follow. At the same time, you know this and I know this, whether it's Thursday, as you point out in your piece at ESPN.com and ESPNWisconsin.com, or it's against the Giants, or it's against Carolina for some weird reason, whatever it might be, he's going to have some steps back, too, because that's what young quarterbacks do. So how are you assessing him as we sit here today? Because I feel, this is what I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm pushing my thumb on whatever side of the scale is getting imbalanced. When he struggled, I was putting my thumb on it and saying, hey, relax. This is what young quarterbacks do. He's going to have good moments. And now, coming off a Sunday, now I'm pushing on the other side going, hey, there's going to be some tough times still ahead.
In some ways, I think we're kind of opposite. Because when he was struggling, I was ready to bury him. And now that he's playing better, I'm ready to anoint him. So I think we're a good balance for each other. In the story today, and I didn't put this in the story because I don't want like the coverage of Jordan Love to just be take 2008, tear off the label, write 2023 and change the names. I don't want it to be 1992. Like, remember when Mike McCarthy used to say, we don't just go back and take the game plan from 2008, scratch out the year and write 2020, whatever on it. But my point is that, like, you kind of look for moments. And look, I don't know what you think the Aaron Rodgers moment is. Some people probably think it was Dallas in 07. I tend to think that you sort of knew when he hurt his shoulder and then played. I think they were playing Atlanta the next week.
Atlanta. He had
and
to
you
go
weren't
down
sure
to the
if he was
Hudson Center to prove he could play. Yes, I totally agree with you.
And you weren't sure if he was going to play, and then he goes out and throws for like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, like, to me, that looking back, that might have been the moment for me with Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think either of us covered the 92 or 93 seasons with Brett, but I'm sure there's points in there. Maybe it was the Kittrick Taylor touchdown in his first game in 92, or maybe it was some other time. Maybe there were times after that. But like, and I'm not saying that Sunday, whatever the date was going to be the one that we look back in 5 years and saying, yeah, this is when we knew. But it was the first, I think, really, really good indicator that he could end up being the guy. I'll admit, Jason, I was really skeptical coming out of Pittsburgh. I know everybody was looking for the positives, and to me, all I could keep seeing in my mind's eye was the touchdown or the interceptions in the end zone, the 2 series in the third quarter where they get down inside the red zone and deep inside the red zone, and they come away with field goals. Like, I just wasn't ready coming out of Pittsburgh. And look, as I said in the lead of the story, even if they take a step back Thursday at Detroit, and how can they not, given A, what they're up against, and B, the running back situation, the injuries. But even if they do, it doesn't mean that yesterday or Sunday wasn't that moment.
So you're, tell me if I'm wrong, but you're kind of riding the pendulum too. And
I am, yes.
Right? Because
I'm emotional, you know that.
I've once or twice I've noticed it, but the point is that I am. You're right. We're taking totally different approaches, because I was the guy coming out of Pittsburgh. I was Mr. Moral Victory, man. I was adding that column to wins, losses, and ties, and then MV, because I thought he showed all the things that we'd been waiting for him to do. And to me, the idea that he didn't get the result was separate from the fact that how many times do we hear LaFleur talk about indecisive equals ineffective? And you and I talked during games, like, he doesn't step into these throws to the sideline. He looks tentative. And for the first time in Pittsburgh, not even the week before against the Rams, his numbers were good, but I wasn't that impressed against the Rams. But for the first time, I saw him seem decisive against Pittsburgh, and then he carried it into Sunday against one of the worst pass defenses in the league.
Well, and that's the caveat too, right? I mean, you got to put a caveat on everything. The other thing is, and look, no quarterback's going to be perfect. Even the greats aren't perfect. I mean, look at Mahomes last night, right? But there were I still keep replaying, the throw to Musgrave down the sideline that he missed badly on Sunday. I feel like there was another one that I can't quite come up with right now. And look, I know they're not going to be 100%, but there's still a throw here or there where you're not 100% sure. But I do think, as if you're looking at it on the whole, and look, they've got 7 more games left, things could change. But if you're looking at it on the whole, I think the arrow is pointing up.
How much of that is the people around him? You mentioned that in your story, and we talked about it on Cover 2 on WBAY. Like, every single one of those young guys did something good. Even Tucker Kraft had a play, right? I mean, Christian Watson, for all the grief he's taken, and he was invisible in the first half, he had the touchdown catch that you write about in your story. So how much of it we hear LaFleur over and over? It's all 11. It's the other 10 guys around him. Well, they certainly helped him on Sunday.
Yeah, and I wrote down 2 drops during the game, and I had Aaron Jones with 1 and Wicks with 1. Maybe there were others, but that's not like it was previous weeks. I mean, they had you could depending on what your definition of a drop is, they were 4, 5, 6 drops in there each week, and that can't happen. I know we've talked about this before, and this is not new, but a month or so ago they started meeting on Tuesdays. The skill guys and the quarterbacks, and they actually were meeting not to look back on stuff, but to look ahead and get a jump start on the week. And, Jaden Reed, Sean Clifford, a couple guys I talked to afterwards thought, that we were finally starting to see the fruits of those meetings. And this is what young teams look like. This is what teams that were rebuilding look like. And the ones that end up coming out of it better on the other side have more performances like what we saw Sunday down the stretch of the season. I mean, again, I guess we just try to compare everything to past years, but in 06, not that they were a young team, because they weren't, but they were 4-8 and seemingly going nowhere. And, they win their last 4. And McCarthy that whole offseason was talking about, hey, we got momentum. And I'm like, well, how does momentum carry over from, 9 months later? But maybe it did.
Right.
And it's not a lie if you believe it. And maybe they start to believe.
And Tausch's rookie year of 2000, they did the same thing with Mike Sherman's first team. They won they missed the playoffs also, but did they finish 8-8 also, or did they finish 9-7? They were
9-7.
Yeah,
they were 9-7. Won their last 4 after losing to Carolina. If I remember right, it might have been a night game at Carolina. It was ugly, and then they ran on a run.
So and the schedule does set up for that potentially with some of the matches
after these 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure the other teams are looking at the Packers going, well, they're not that good. The same way we're looking at those teams and saying they're not that good.
Right.
Talking with Rob Demovsky on Wilde and Tausch. All right. So, Rob, Jesse posed an interesting question. And I have to, maybe you know this off the top of your head. Because of the contract they signed Jordan Love to, that kind of half-measure contract, could they extend him during this season? Is that allowed from a contractual perspective even?
That's a great one. I think, do you have to wait 12 months to do an extension of another extension?
That's what I thought. Okay, so
I believe you have to wait 12 months to do an extension on a previous extension.
But
they could do that in May, right? That was done in May, so they could do it this offseason.
So forget for a moment that rule, because Jesse is, again, he's riding the pendulum as well. Now he's asking, well, if you're Jordan Love, when do you say, hey, I need to get my contract? I've shown it. It's not today, in my opinion. But he does have the trend line going in a positive way. I hope he stays healthy. The idea of Sean Clifford playing, I like Sean Clifford. I know you've enjoyed your interactions with him. Yeah. But I want them to have 17 games of a body of work, and then whatever it ends up being, 8 games or maybe all 17 next year to figure out this guy. Yeah. But if you're Jordan Love and this is the start of his Aaron Rodgers Atlanta moment, when are you wanting your deal done? Are you
I'm just looking at the contract right now. He's basically owed $6 million next year, 5.5 in salary and $500,000 in off-season workout bonus, which you would presume that he would attend. He's probably not to the point yet where he's going to start skipping those, I would not think. The salary cap charge is $7.7 million, so theoretically you could lower that with an extension, big bonus, bunch of proration. Look, I don't think I don't think his guys out at Athletes First are quite burning up Goody's line yet for an extension, but I would assume that depending on how this goes, they would probably be if he's going to be their guy, you might as well extend him. Now, heck, we could be sitting here in 6 weeks going, well, boy, that San Diego or that LA Chargers game, that was it, and it was all downhill from there, and they might be drafting a guy. So there was an interesting piece on ESPN Plus, ESPN.com subscription this morning from some of our draft people about projecting, who might be the top 10 type of picks. And I think they had the Packers picking 9th right now or whatever it was. That was based on, I'm sure, some FPI, DVOA, what nonsense that I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they had him taking a defensive tackle at like 9th, right? So, it's just this is so much. Yeah, so much still needs to be determined here in the next 7 games.
All right. So one other thing that I wanted to get to with you, and look, you've done this for a really long time, Jesse. Do you have Tom Brady from who was he talking to Stephen A. Smith when he said this?
Yeah, it was on the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to give this a listen
I missed that one.
So did I. But I heard it this morning with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. And you're a grumpy old man, so you can appreciate this. Here is Tom Brady talking about today's NFL.
I think there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. Yeah. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past.
Why not?
Why not? I think the coaching isn't as good as it was. I don't think the development of young players is as good as it was. The rules have allowed a lot of bad habits to get into the actual performance of the game. Mm-hmm. So I just think the product, in my opinion, is less than what it's been. I look at a lot of players like Ray Lewis and Rodney Harrison and Ronnie Lott and guys that impacted the game in a certain way, and every hit they would have made would have been a penalty. You hear coaches complaining about their own player being tackled and not necessarily, why don't they talk to their player about how to protect himself? We used to work on the fundamentals of those things all the time. Now they're trying to be regulated all the time. Offensive players need to protect themselves. It's not up to a defensive player to protect the offensive player. A defensive player needs to protect himself. I didn't throw the ball to certain areas because I was afraid players were going to get knocked out. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. Wow. I didn't throw it to the middle when I played Ray Lewis because you knock him out of the game, and I couldn't afford to lose a good player.
So he makes a lot of good points there. But the one thing that I thought of, and I mentioned you when I was talking to Gabe and Chewy about this, I'll never forget the 2012 offseason after the new CBA was enacted, and you and I and Hughes and Wes Hodkowitz are standing on the sideline, and Jeff Saturday turns to us during like a drill that they're not in pads, but there is some measure of collisioning. Does that look like non-contact to you guys? You should write about that.
Yep.
Don't you think that the quality of the game, not to be grumpy old man, but part of it is the NFLPA negotiated less practice time in the offseason, less practice time in season. Maybe that's affected the quality of the product.
I think it's that, Jason, and I also think it's the coaches being so, scared of losing good players that they don't practice very long and practice very hard. I mean, go through the timestamps of every training camp practice this year.
Yeah,
I know they went over 210 in Cincinnati on that one joint practice, and I think there was one or two that was a little over 2 hours here. Other than that, most of the practices were in the hour 40, hour 45 minute range. And I know they can say, well, you do split squads and you're getting twice the work done at the same time. I'm not buying it. And I think it impacts injuries. I know that's not what we're talking about here, but I think there's more injuries because guys aren't hardened enough. And the games are so different than the practices, and you're not prepared for it. So I think Tom has a point. I also wonder if, it's just watered down. And I know there's not more teams than there were, but I just think the quality of play is probably not as good. And, I think all that other stuff with off-season training, practice times, and look, maybe we're just in a point in the NFL right now where there just aren't a ton of superstars. And that's probably cyclical, right? I mean, and that's why you have a lot of teams that are, anywhere between 4-6 and 6-4.
The other thing that Chewy rants about is that guys don't play through injuries the way they used to. You and I have talked a lot about Jair Alexander. Who knows what he's got planned for Thanksgiving. But there have been some instances where, and you and I are both the same, I don't want to disrespect these guys by questioning the veracity of their injuries. But when the coach kind of talks the way he does, it's hard not to wonder if at least the coach thinks that there's something afoot.
Yeah, Chewy brought that up yesterday. So clearly that's stuck in his craw a little bit right there with guys not necessarily playing through. What guys from Chewy's era used to say, there's a difference between being hurt and injured. It's hard to play injured, but you can play hurt kind of a thing. And the funny thing is it's just generational. I remember talking to Jim Taylor when Amon Green was going to break the franchise rushing record, and he thought the game at that time, what was that, early 2000s, was no good. So I think this is part of that too, is just a little bit of the, my generation was the generation and everything after isn't as good.
All right,
we talk about that. We talk about that with reporters too, right?
That's happened once or twice, yes.
And I'm sure Bud Lee was saying the same thing about us.
All right, last thing for you. You and I have spent our share of Thanksgivings together in Dallas, in Detroit. The Packers hosted a Thanksgiving game once upon a time. You're headed to Detroit. Are you excited to spend Thanksgiving with Jack Harlow and the Lions and the questionable John Mason used to call the turkey the Civil War turkey, which was blue on one side and gray on the other? And did you get a flight back on Thanksgiving Day night to get back here to spend with Jessica and the boys?
No, that flight from Detroit to Green Bay, it's like an 8:45 or 9 p.m. flight. I think it goes 362 days a year, but it doesn't go on Thanksgiving, it doesn't go on Christmas, and it must not go on New Year's. So, no, I do not have that flight. And that flight exists today. It exists tomorrow. It exists on Friday. It does not exist on Thanksgiving Thursday. And as for the meal itself, I always say this. The turkey tastes like the mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes taste like the stuffing. The stuffing tastes like the biscuits, which tastes like the paper plate that you're eating it off of at Detroit's Thanksgiving. So I might as well just chew on a paper plate and call it a night.
Well, that Westin at the airport has a great Thanksgiving meal. I would get it.
Can't even get in there. It was too expensive. It was too expensive this year. Can't even get in the Westin. It didn't fit under the per diem or our guidelines for travel. So
gotta be some Detroit style pizza somewhere you could grab.
Yeah, so I'm off site. It's fine. Like I'm happy to have the weekend, free-ish. And look, I don't. Anytime you put me in a game at 12 or 12:30 or 11:30, whatever it is, I'll take that over 7:15. Any day of the week. So it's fun. The one thing, and I'm sure you got to go real quick, but the one thing that I'm looking forward to is so many times on Thanksgiving when we were there in 13, 15, 17, it seemed like every other year, the atmosphere was terrible. The Lions stunk. This should be pretty energetic, right? I mean, I think that could be a pretty, electric atmosphere. Harder to get work done because you can't hear yourself think, but it should be an interesting environment.
All right, before you go, I know what a proud dad you are. Give us a Lawrence basketball and a De Pere basketball update.
So the Redbirds will start a week from Saturday. The girls are already playing. Boys will get going in a couple weeks. Preseason number 1 again. And Hogan's team at Lawrence is they're off to a slow start, but they're coming together. They had a really good game at Wisconsin Lutheran on Saturday, and they got a chance to win their first game this Saturday at Lakeland.
And Roan threw down a dunk at the De Pere unveiling of their Midnight Madness.
Midnight Madness. Yep. One-handed, two-handed, so he's got my hops.
He does indeed. And fortunately, Jessica's height. All right, that's it. We appreciate you, buddy. I'll see you later for Matt LaFleur and the assistant coaches. Thanks.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
That is the terrific Rob Demovsky. He joins us once a week here on Wilde and Tausch. He joins all of our shows across ESPN Wisconsin at least once every week. We will take a little bit of time to discuss one thing that Jesse wants to get to, and that, of course, is Power Rankings Tuesday. And then it'll be double trivia. That's still ahead. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tosher here reminding you there's no better product and no better taste than the delicious taste of Grassland butter. Well, we're just days away from the best holiday feast of the year, Thanksgiving dinner. And while the turkey or the stuffing or the green bean casserole may top your Turkey Day power rankings, checking in at number 1 on my list, it's Grassland butter. Grassland has been producing the highest quality butter for more than 5 generations since 1904. And fitting with the spirit of the season, the team at Grassland sure is thankful for all the hardworking dairy farmers right here in Wisconsin that help produce the highest quality ingredients that give Grassland its pure and delicious flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter. Check out creative recipes you can try out for the upcoming holidays at grasslandbutter.com. On Thanksgiving Day and every day, remember, there is no better butter, there's no better product, and no better taste than Grassland Dairy. Crafting butter for 5 generations.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set, and quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Well, the season for the Packers has been a roller coaster at times, and at 4-6 after their win on Sunday against the Chargers, Matt LaFleur still believes in his team moving forward in their growth opportunities.
I think these guys are bought in, and I see it in their actions and how they go out and compete. Certainly, I feel like, they're giving us everything they have, and it's just, this league is tough. A lot of these games go down to one possession, and it's a few plays here or there that determine the outcome of who wins and who loses.
Short week for the Green and Gold. They're in Detroit for a Thanksgiving matinee against the Lions.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Sarah Tauscher here, encouraging you to enjoy Prairie Athletic Club's Platinum membership. It's everything you want in a membership. The Platinum membership at the Pack includes unlimited CrossFit, Pilates, hot yoga, and bar, along with training zone and boot camp classes. The Pack has everything you need, including a ton of new equipment. No other health club offers you more for your money. Stop by today or visit prairieathletic.com to check out all of their membership specials. That's prairieathletic.com. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
Braylon Allen here for Iron Jock Performance Gear and Apparel. You know why Iron Jock says it's what's inside? It's the technology, the four-way stretch, fit, and feel, the science that is built into the fabric. This isn't any ordinary clothing that you wear 5 times and the fabric breaks down. Iron Jock is tested and proven to kill 99.9% of the bacteria for the lifetime of the gear. It'll feel as new after 75 washes as it did the day you got it. Get yours at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Thanks again to Rob Demovsky. Packers locker room open to reporters during the 11 o'clock hour. I'll be here with you, Jesse, so I won't be chatting it up with Jaden Reed today.
If you want me and the outsider to hold it down, I guess we could.
Well,
I don't know if you want to give us that kind of power around here.
And frankly, I was actually going to discuss with us after the show yesterday, hey, the locker room's at 11:10. Can we do a little moving around? And then somebody decided to go fishing. And it's the guy whose finger is in the photo. He's not actually in the photo, although those people might be fishing too. Lots of good fishing down in Florida.
That guy in the white T-shirt looks like he's going fishing.
Yes, the guy stealing that poor kid's hat, if you're watching on video.
Someone did point out in this expert photography from Tausch that they all appear to be trying to do bunny ears. So that's what the guy's leaning in for. A very poor job executing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you can see above the kid's head there are a couple of bunny ears there. It's not
stealing his hats.
Yeah, it's not a great execution of the bunny ears, but that appears to be what everybody's doing.
But then other people behind there, I think they're doing the W behind the dad with his arm around the son.
Well,
he's got a hat on too.
But also, can you imagine old boy telling a group of Badger fans to get in for a picture that he's about to take at the Fort Myers tip-off with like 12 minutes to go in the game?
Yeah.
This is about what I would expect that to go like.
Not surprised. I would put him pretty low on my photography power rankings. Let's find out where the Packers are on the ESPN NFL power rankings.
Jason, we just had Demovsky on. He didn't even get to tell us about what he wrote in this week's power rankings over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Last week, the Packers fell to 27 after a loss to Pittsburgh. Following a win against Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers, Jason Wilde, where do you believe the nation ranks the Pack?
So I feel like before they lost to the Steelers, they were 24th.
I believe that's correct.
My memory serves.
Yeah.
So I think they just went back to where they were before. I think they went up to 24. That's what I'm going with.
All right, so here's the exercise. We'll start from the bottom, and you can just, maybe quicker than Tausch would typically do it, just kind of confirm whether you believe these teams are worse than the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Carolina Panthers dead last. Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
New England Patriots.
Yes.
Giants.
Yes.
Bears. Almost beat Detroit.
Yes, but not. Yes, but not as a certain yes as I delivered for the others.
So there's a clear bottom four. That's like the lowest tier. Now we're in a different tier with the Bears.
Yes.
So the 27 is the Titans.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if they played the Titans 10 times, the Packers maybe win 6, or maybe the Titans win 6. They're both not very good.
At 26, the New York Jets.
I'm surprised they're not lower, frankly.
Yeah.
Now they're going to start the laser show, Tim Boyle, on Friday. Things not going well for Nathaniel Hackett, who the natives are restless about his performance as the offensive coordinator. So, yeah, the good news for Aaron Rodgers is that they're playing poorly enough that he shouldn't take the chance of trying to play this season.
25th, the Atlanta Falcons, who beat the Packers in Week 2.
I mean, they're struggling, too. They got their own problems. I think the Packers and the Falcons have a lot of similarities, frankly.
And number 24, right on the money, Jason Wilde, the Green Bay Packers.
Good for them.
Back where they belong, in the 24th spot.
And yet, a game and a half out of the final playoff spot as of today in the NFC. So
now let me ask you this. Washington is 23rd. Tampa is 22nd. Would you definitively say those teams are better than the Green Bay Packers? I would say no, I cannot say that.
I wouldn't say that either. They're in that malaise of a group that, depending on which Sunday it is, they can play like crap and the Packers would beat them, or the Packers could play like crap and lose to them. That's the reality of the NFL. To Tom Brady's point from earlier, he's right. A lot of mediocrity. Lots. And some just bad football altogether. Hopefully, trivia is not bad. Hopefully, trivia is awesome. And it's a 2 for Tuesday. So we can now. Are we playing 2 for Tuesday on Wednesday also? So we can get 5 contestants for the week?
We're doubling up on a Badgers Trivia Tuesday and a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday this week. So we get all 5 contestants.
All right. Are there any questions about ginseng in today's question?
No, there are not.
All right.
I am pretty proud of saying Badgers Trivia Tuesday with a
That's
TWO.
very clever. I'm
like
sure no one's ever thought of that before. So, caller... I kind of want to do caller 2 and caller 22.
Bring it.
All right, caller 2 and caller 22 on Badgers Trivia Tuesday. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We will play coming up next. Again, it is Badgers Trivia Tuesday. It's a double dose of trivia. We will do that with caller 2 and caller 22. 844-770-3776. We'll play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. The Wisconsin Badgers football team will look to regain the axe for the first time since 2020 this Saturday as they play Minnesota in the regular season finale. Former Badger Sojourn Shelton joined Mr. Relevant podcast on Monday and stressed the importance of this rivalry.
It's huge, especially for the fact it was brought to my attention that I think Minnesota only has 5 wins. What better feeling to not only win the axe back, send Minnesota home packing.
Find the full conversation with Sojourn Shelton wherever you get your podcast. Just search Mr. Relevant.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Mark the moment with jewelry from us. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Make the beauty of your purchase match the beauty of the moment. For over 90 years, Goodman's Jewelers has been providing sparkle to Madison. We can help you preserve a lifetime of memories with that special gift during this special season. Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street, the Diamond Store of Madison.
The best is at Goodman's.
2023 is a very special year for Goodman's Jewelers. We're celebrating 90 years of serving the greater Madison area. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Needless to say, that's a long time and a lot of great memories working with you, our customers. During these 9 decades, we've never deviated from our pledge to you, which is earning your trust, delivering top-notch service, and a selection that's second to none. Discover firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers is truly a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
I think it is a very reasonable assumption that there will be more and significant discipline that will take place involving Harbaugh and involving the program. I think Harbaugh goes to the NFL if that opportunity exists next year, but I believe we are seeing the end of Harbaugh one way or the other at Michigan.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. We're an independent, fee-based firm specializing in customized investment management, tax-aware wealth planning, and personalized client service. We're a steward along your financial journey because you deserve more than a run-of-the-mill experience. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid, I know that it's not fair. Nobody cares 'cause I'm alone and the world is having more fun than me tonight. And maybe when the night is dead, I'll crawl into my bed. I'm staring at these 4 walls again. I'll try to think about the last time I had a good time. Everyone's got somewhere to go, and they're gonna
Time for trivia. Jesse, how'd that 2 and 22 go?
It seems like every time we do double trivia these days, we get a first-time contestant.
Nice.
And I always feel like I'm up against things because I have to explain the rules a little extra, which is, we love first-time contestants.
We do. It's my favorite thing.
It just makes for a little bit of a time crunch, you know? So, but we got it. Looking
All
forward
right.
to this.
Well, let's play trivia. Let's welcome in our contestants. Caller 2. was Tucker in Wausau, who has played before. Tucker, good morning. How are you?
Ginseng.
Nicely done. Well done. Great callback. And caller 22 is our first-time contestant. It is JJ in Dodgeville. Go Dodgers. JJ, good morning. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing great.
All right. So we have double trivia. It is Badgers Trivia 2's TWOS Day. We start with question 1 for Tucker, which is this. Which of these UW sports teams is not currently ranked in the top 25 in the country? Is it women's volleyball, football, or men's hockey?
Ball.
Indeed, they are not.
Yeah.
Nice win, though, which we'll talk about with the Badgers Outsider coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. All right, question 1 for you, JJ, is this. Which of these UW sports teams is not mathematically eliminated from competing for a Big Ten regular season championship? Women's volleyball, football, or men's hockey? Which one is not mathematically eliminated?
Can you repeat them?
Yes, not mathematically eliminated from Big Ten regular season championship competition. Women's volleyball, football, or men's hockey?
Football.
No, the football team will not be playing in the Big Ten championship game, nor will the women's volleyball team after a loss to Penn State and then Purdue.
Yeah.
They are now out of contention to win the regular season title. Men's hockey, number 1 in the country.
Long way to go for hockey.
All right, question 2. First for Tucker is this. Which of these players was Wisconsin's starting quarterback the last time the Badgers won at Minnesota, which is where they play on Saturday? Was it Alex Hornibrook, Jack Cohn, or Graham Mertz?
I'm going to go Hornibrook.
You're going to be wrong. Jack Cohn, the correct answer. Man, all right, we need to bounce back here. I want a good, high-quality, successful double trivia. So, JJ, here we go with question 2 for you. Which of these sports venues on the UW campus has the largest seating capacity? Largest seating capacity. Is it LeBron Arena, that's a hockey arena, UW Fieldhouse, or a Goodman softball diamond?
Fieldhouse.
All right, you're on the board. All right, we got one apiece. Here
Snap
we go.
the streak.
Question 3. First for Tucker. Wisconsin's 24-point win over Virginia yesterday, which I didn't even get to watch, is the Badgers' largest margin of victory over a ranked opponent since they defeated are you kidding me? Since they defeated which team in December of 2020? All right, good luck to you, Tucker.
This was in the post-game notes they sent out.
Not all of us get those. All right, so the last time they defeated a ranked opponent by as much as they did Virginia yesterday, who was that opponent in December of 2020? Was it North Carolina, Syracuse, or Louisville?
Well, I'm going to go based on, I think the ACC Big Ten Challenge was still happening then. I'm going to go North Carolina.
Yeah, that would have been a good guess. But that would be wrong.
They're all ACC teams, Tucker.
Louisville.
Oh, that's right. Syracuse wasn't in. I was thinking they're in the Big East still.
Yeah, no, I always think of them and Jim Boeheim in the Big East,
And
too. Don't
Louisville
feel
was in
bad.
the Big East, too.
Louisville was the correct answer. That is a wickedly
I don't remember that
difficult
game at all.
All right, so why'd you use it as a question?
Because
you
it was
big
in the
jerk?
post-game notes. They were a layup.
All right, speaking of layups, that was not one of them. All right, JJ, here's your chance to get a second entry, or a third entry, as it were.
JJ's is worse.
Oh, my God. You're a bad man.
It was
All right,
also in the
JJ.
post-game notes.
Here
for
we
the
go.
record.
Memo to UW Sports Information. Stop sending Jesse the post-game notes. Wisconsin's 24-point win over Virginia yesterday, JJ, was the Badgers' largest margin of victory over a ranked opponent away from home since they defeated which team on the road by 24 points in 2015.
Huge win yesterday.
This is so dumb. All right. Was that opponent Marquette?
Wow.
Was that opponent Marquette, Ohio State, or Michigan State? And you have no
Ohio
idea, so just guess.
I have no idea.
Who are you going with? Marquette, Ohio State, or Michigan State?
I'm going Marquette.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You should both file grievances against Jesse. This is preposterous. You each got one right. That means you each get 2 entries into our drawing. There'll be 2 more contestants tomorrow who I'm sure will be just as irritated with Jesse as you are. Thanks for playing, guys. We appreciate you.
All right, happy Thanksgiving.
Jesse.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Jesse.
Take it up with my guy Brandon Harrison of Badger Athletics.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
He should stop sending out such good nuggets at the end of the game like he did last night.
You made your choice. All right, we need to get to the 11 o'clock hour, and we need to talk to Derek Blakesley, our Badgers Outsider. It is a Derek Blakesley Badgers Outsider Tuesday. If JJ or if Tucker want to bring litigation, well, this isn't the area that Gruber Law Offices specializes in. They specialize in injuries caused by serious accidents. But, hey, they've always got great advice. I hope we never need, the Wildies never need David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices. I hope we never face a situation where we need their expertise. But it's great to know that they're there. And they've been there for over 35 years. So give them a call. One call, that's all, if you need that legal representation. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website, gruber-law.com. The 11 o'clock hour begins with the Badgers Outsider in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Big night of basketball around the state of Wisconsin last night, including the Wisconsin Badgers defeating 24th-ranked Virginia in the opening round of the Fort Myers tip-off down in Florida. 65-41, the Badgers win over Tony Bennett and the Cavaliers. Good offensive night for the forwards. Stephen Crowell, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Tyler Wall, 9 points, 10 rebounds to lead the Badgers in the win. They face SMU in the tournament championship game Wednesday. Tip time approximately set for 7:30. Fourth-ranked Marquette in the midnight hour. Literally, it was 12:40 a.m. when the game went final. Defeats UCLA 71-69 in the opening round of the Maui Invitational being played in Honolulu. So tonight, huge game in the Maui Invitational semifinals. Fourth-ranked Marquette and number 1-ranked Kansas. Maui Wowie. Tip time set for 9:30 on ESPN and the ESPN app. Listen to it on our sister station, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You know what that music means, even if it is no longer played at Camp Randall. It's played here when Derek Blakesley, our Badgers outsider, joins us. Presented by PDS. And as Tausch always tells you when he's not fishing, PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. PDS is giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life. And PDS wants to be your trusted partner in driving success with enterprise solutions, digital workplace platforms, and managed services that fit your needs. PDS, Paragon Development Systems. And driving that boat into solving your IT problems is Derek Blakesley. Derek, good morning. How are you?
I don't know if that was your smoothest transition. I'm good. I'm happy the weekend worked out the way that it did. We needed that win.
Well, first of all, I went with a boat there because that's what Tausch is on, who decided about 11:30 yesterday that he was going fishing today.
Yeah,
as opposed to joining you.
He's a man of leisure. I think he's sideswiped me the last couple times I've been on. I really don't feel too bad that he's gone. I feel like I can actually talk about sports and get back into it and maybe raise and elevate the rhetoric a little bit today with you and I and Jesse. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of rhetoric when you're around, that's for sure. No one will deny that.
I'm here for rhetoric.
So 14-0.
Yeah.
I went through my because look, I'm not a fan. We always like to joke about that on this show, but I still want the Badgers to win. Like I want Tausch to have good games to call. I want you to be happy, and frankly, it is my alma mater. And I do, it's fun when they're relevant, things are going well, and all the good things that come with winning, and that has not happened. And I started with a picture of Barry Alvarez yelling at his players, a young Barry Alvarez. Then I had one after they tied it up or took the lead of him coming off the field with his arm, or I don't know if it was Fletch or who it was from the old days. And then finally a big smile as they end up emerging victorious. What were the emotions that the Badgers outsider felt during the course? Were you at the game or were you on your couch? And what were the emotions you endured?
No, I'm really glad you asked because I was hunting. So I listened to the game on the radio. And we had all gotten back. We've got a cabin back home, so we were listening to Tausch and LePay on the call. And I felt like after the first Nebraska touchdown, I was like, oh, could be a long one.
Here we go again.
But when the second touchdown was scored, was the first time in my gut, as a guy that watches the Badgers a lot, I was like, oh my God, this could be a total collapse, and it could be where something would have to happen after the game, like position coaches or something, heads would roll. I felt like we were in trouble of the program in and of itself, that like this experiment going so poorly that we would have to make changes, not at the head coach level or anything, but it was like, it wasn't fun at all. It was one of those things you're like, oh my gosh, well, what is going to have to happen here? And I was, thank God we turned it around and at least played, because when you listen to it on the radio and you're hearing this and it's not good, I mean, Tausch was, it was like the noises you would picture Tausch making when he's at a buffet. There was a lot of moaning and stuff almost in the background where LePay would be talking and Tausch would step on him with, oh, ooh. And I felt that, and I think that's why Tausch is really good, I was like, man, this is beyond having a rough presser after the game. This is something where people are going to demand some accountability. So really glad for the guys that we picked up some third downs. We got off the field a couple times. We won the football game, and I think it was important. The way we won it was gritty, and it was Braylon leading the way on getting the extra effort. So really happy for the guys, happy for everybody involved at the university and the program.
So speaking of Braylon, look, I don't cover the Badgers on a day-to-day basis like I do with the Packers. I'm not very clear on the whole injury report concept, which they released the day of the game, which I find odd. But he was questionable. But as he said in the post-game interview on the field, nobody thought he was going. and then he felt pretty good about his workout, and then he went, I just thought it was a really important moment for him. Because I don't know what his career is going forward. I don't know if he's going to come out, because if I'm a running back and I have an opportunity to go to the league and get more money than I'm getting via NIL, I'm still going, because I think I've only got so many hits in my body. I don't know what his plans are, but I thought he showed something really important. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, you and I are on the same page today. Like, I'm with you. I felt it was really important. I assume he makes about $500,000 on NIL. That's somewhere in there.
That's what you're making?
Those calls haven't come yet. I'm still building up the groundswell, the grassroots support.
For the Hall of Fame, yeah.
The Outsider Collective.
I don't know how this will be taken, but my take, I think the staff generally wishes he was a little tougher as far as what he plays through, and I think the Packers have talked about that lately too. But he's thinking about what you said. How many hits can I take, or is there something for me? I said this last year, so this isn't new. He is an incredible athlete. He is very strong. I don't think he's fast enough, and he's too heavy to play running back in today's NFL.
You have said that.
Yeah, and I agree. And I
you agree with
I
yourself?
agree with myself, and it's always good to have that. It's like a Mr. Rogers moment. It's so good to have that feeling when you know that your feelings are valid to you and yourself. No, he to me is. I'm not an expert on draft, but he's a 5th or 6th round guy, and there's part of me that wishes he would have maybe made a go of it at a different position. So if I were him, I would either stay at Wisconsin, or I might go in the portal and try my luck somewhere else that has a little more of a power game that is blocking up things differently, where he needs help getting to the hole faster, and then out of the shotgun or even the pistol looks and stuff, it's not going to work here. But he's an incredible athlete, and I wish the best for him. But I agree with you, and like as far as his Wisconsin career goes, he had the moment when he burst onto the scene, and that was great for him, and he got to be a star. And I think this was different because it's a little more mature, a little more grown up, where he really – this team needed him. They needed him bad because of what I talked about at the beginning, and he really delivered. Where he pushed that pile 2 or 3 yards and got in the end zone, that was a video you're going to see a lot when people talk about his career, because this isn't a championship season or anything, but it doesn't mean what he did wasn't really important, and it really was him taking that team literally, him on his back and scoring.
Carrying them across
the goal line and having a great moment. So I got a ton of respect for the kid. But you just looking at the tape measures and looking at everything else, I don't see that. I would love to be wrong. It's just I think college football is going to be the top of the heap for him, and I think whatever he decides to do, it goes well for him.
All right, you got time to stick around for a second segment?
I always do, especially around Thanksgiving holiday. It seems like everybody has a little more time.
All
Except for Tausch, who decides it's his time to go out and be the Babe Winkleman of the radio.
The who?
Babe Winkleman, the greatest fisherman of all time.
You don't know who Babe Winkleman is?
You don't get up on Sunday mornings and watch Ken Herbeck and the boys up in
I
Lake
always thought Gillespie was the goat of fishermen.
You can get a little bit of Gillespie, but it gets to be too much. He's over the top. I can't stand people who are over the top. You got to be measured. You got to be disciplined.
I can see why you would not be a fan of people who take that approach. More with the always measured, never over the top, Derek Blakesley, our Badgers Outsider, presented by PDS. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
The Badgers Outsider on Wilde and Tausch is presented by PDS, a Converge company, providing IT solutions and transforming IT for area companies for more than 30 years. Find what solutions they can offer you at pdsit.net.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us. You're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Well, the season for the Packers has been a roller coaster at times, and at 4-6 after their win on Sunday against the Chargers, Matt LaFleur still believes in his team moving forward and their growth opportunities.
I think these guys are bought in, and I see it in their actions and how they go out and compete. Certainly, I feel like, they're giving us everything they have, and it's just, this league is tough. A lot of these games go down to one possession, and, it's a few plays here or there that determine the outcome of who wins and who loses.
Short week for the Green and Gold. They're in Detroit for a Thanksgiving matinee against the Lions.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Hey, it's Alex Rowe. Football season is officially here, which means you better be doing it right with my friends at Door County Distillery. If you're a whiskey fan, you can't go wrong with the 9-time award-winning single malt whiskey from Door County Distillery. Maybe you like gin. How about that classic green bottle of gin from Door County Distillery? Or maybe it's the cherry brandy to mix up in your old-fashioned. Whatever it is, choose Door County Distillery. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com, for the retailer nearest you and all of those unique cocktail recipes. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
Before and after every Wisconsin football game, the party rolls on with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Hey Badger fans, Colin Musso here. Join former Badgers Chris Soler, Brad Nordman, and myself at Pooley's in Sun Prairie for ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame. Previewing the Axe game. Wisconsin on the road to reclaim the Axe at Minnesota. 2:30 kickoff. Show starts 12:30.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, before and after every Wisconsin football game on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Circus Sports is now available at American Place. Bet on your favorite Milwaukee and Wisconsin teams, from Wisconsin football and basketball to all the Milwaukee basketball action, as well as more games nationwide. The Circus Sportsbook at American Place has 36 TVs, so you won't miss any of the action. And it's just 30 minutes from Kenosha and 45 minutes from Racine. For more information and to find out about their events, go to circusports.com. All Circus Sports bets must be placed in Illinois. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Continuing with the Badgers outsider, Derek Blakesley, presented by PDS. Derek, being the measured, non-reactionary fellow that you are, or purport yourself to be, how do you feel about another guy who's very measured and calm and authentic? PJ Fleck.
Oh, I didn't know if it was going to be a Jordan Love pivot to the Packers, or it was going to.
I thought he was going to go Tom Oates.
Yeah, it was going to.
So Oatesy is stirring the pot, baby.
You know, Fleck he's a perfect antagonist for us. I have no idea why they want him up there. I mean, if there's ever been, we've last couple weeks talked about the me versus we culture. I can't think of many head coaches that have had less success that are still about me than PJ Fleck. I'm so glad we've never made a hire like that. I mean, it would be almost impossible for me to cheer for any team that he would coach. Look, I think he's got a pretty unique capability at times to get these teams ready to play, but they've lost a bunch this year. They're not good. We're also not very good. Winning is good for the soul, right? And so I think his team is going to have a hard time against us. I think we're going to get the W, and it always feels good to beat him because he just there. It's like I have the same feeling about Russell Wilson in interviews and things like that, where there's guys where every time they open their mouth and talk, the stuff that comes out is just, and I'm not talking about myself, it's just difficult to hear. And I don't want to hear it. It's just so self-serving. So a win against them is always sweet, and we're going to struggle a little bit, but I hope to God we get it.
Is he? I saw Luke Fickell. Was it yesterday? Said he's a very energetic guy. Yeah, that's his brand. Is he in danger? Like, I haven't followed the Minnesota media's coverage of him. And I don't know how plumb of a job that is. Is he?
I think it's time. It's about time for him to move on, either being helped out the door or to go. Look, that program had a nice thing going for a while, and I was reminded of it this weekend when Jerry Kill has won 9 games down in New Mexico. And when you went up to play against them, they were tough. And he had all kinds of his seizure and health issues, so it didn't work out, and Tracy Claeys came in, and they were still pretty tough, and then it all sort of reshuffled, and we got the whole rowing the boat thing. That just grates on everybody. I went to college and lived with a bunch of guys from White Bear Lake and Edina and stuff, and nobody's a big fan. I mean, there's probably a core group, so I don't think anybody would mind. It's going to be more difficult for them to be competitive now that the league has expanded. They've got to take a different approach up there. I don't know what that is. No one really wants to play football up there. The stadium's in the wrong spot. There's just other stuff to do. I just love beating them. I love texting people after we do it, and I want him to stay as long as possible, because as long as he's there, I don't see them being threatening. Or he can whine about recruiting. Anytime the coach starts whining about recruiting, you can tell it's not going well, and he's always sort of complained about how we go about our business down here. But the one thing that I guess it's always bothered me about Fickell is when he came in, I loved everything about the cultural changes, but when he did that thing with the black vest and the team thing, and I think it's because I'm so sensitive, and a lot of us are, to what Fleck does, and that stunk of Fleckiness. It was Flecktastic, and I've hated it, and I could never find the reason, and this is it. I felt it. I'm like, why do I hate that vest with that message on it? It's because it's something P.J. Fleck would do, and we want nothing to do with that, anything he does.
So as you were starting your answer, I was thinking, isn't there a little Fleckosity to some of the things that the current Badgers coach has done? Because no one was ever saying that about his predecessors.
Yeah.
So you feel like he does it in enough moderation that you're fine.
Well, every coach, right? Every coach, especially modern-day college football, there's going to be some ego there. It's the confidence. I like the way Coach Fickell goes about his business for the most part. And look, we got a lot to work on. Obviously, we're working right now. We're making the sausage, but I think great guy, great father. Come in and he's obviously can coach. He's taken the Cincinnati program. I don't need to go any farther. Fleck does it almost just. I imagine him going, if he had the team vest, I think before he showered at night, he would put it on and then parade himself in front of a mirror in his bathroom. That's the difference.
Wearing nothing else.
Yeah, that's the difference. Fickell wears it because he wants to build a winning culture and make it about team. P.J. Fleck does it so he can look at himself in all his glory naked in a mirror before he showers and think how great his biceps look in his vest. He takes everything too far. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. It's great to beat. So I hope he stays there and he signs a lifetime contract. But I think Coach Fickell, I totally believe in what we're doing, and I think they're doing the best they can, and there's a big chasm there between how I feel about both of them. It's just I wondered why I was so the emotional reaction I had to that vest, and now that I've talked it out with you in this little therapy session, it's because I want nothing of our program to be like what Luke Fickell, or like what what's his face has done. I won't even say his name anymore. Up in Minnesota.
All right,
Fick and Fleck is fun to say, though.
Fleckle and Fleckle.
And a dangerous thing to say. We should probably
Have the dump
Not
button
try
ready.
to
Mind
do
your
again.
vowels. Mind your vowels.
All right. Again, someone who never takes things too far, Derek Blakesley, the Badgers outsider. You're also a Packers fan. The pendulum. Whoa! Continues to swing on Jordan Love. Tausch has got him in the Pro Bowl now. How are you putting in perspective what you saw as a Packers fan on Sunday? I would argue he has had his two best games. I still don't think his Rams game was that impressive. I just don't. But I thought he played well in Pittsburgh, and they lost. And I thought he played really well on Sunday, and they won against a team that dropped a lot of passes that might have won the game had they not, and against one of the worst pass defenses in the league. But nevertheless, he had a really good game, and his arrow is now back to pointing up. How did you feel?
Again, timing of this is perfect that it was on the show. I'm going to say something pretty blunt and pretty straightforward. I think it's time to give him his money right now. He's our guy.
God.
Let me tell you why.
Please do.
Guys, it's not the throws. It's not the arm. To me, when I watch, he's able to make the reads. He is patient enough to go through the progressions, and he can make the throws. And that's only going to get better. So here we have a guy. He has the perfect acumen and everything and the personality fit in Green Bay. He has enough athleticism to get some first downs and do some things. He's young enough to not get, the risk of injury is a little lower, and he's got time to grow. He has a strong enough arm. He's smart enough, for sure. And now he's able to make the reads of the progression, and we have a receiving core that he's grown up with. It's not totally about his propensity to succeed so much as the cost overall, money and timing to bring somebody else in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you make a decision in the NFL about personnel, you want to sit here and talk about how we dragged our feet with Devontae? Do we want to sit here and do that?
Oh, come on. You're not really comping the two.
It's the same thing in the idea that when you see enough, it doesn't have to be 100%. There's no such thing as a guarantee in this league. A guy can pop a knee, pop in the next play. You're only a heartbeat away from having to make those decisions. What I think Tausch is talking about and what a lot of other people might be thinking is, why not? Why not Jordan Love? Where else are we going to go? There's no one's walking through that door that's going to be an all-pro at the quarterback position that you can just pick up off the street. I like the way he's playing. Are there going to be some moments? Yeah. But if the wide receivers get better, Musgrave gets better, we're seeing growth all over. And obviously when we win games, we all know the lens that we're looking through completely changes. And that's what you're describing with the pendulum.
And with you.
And with me. But, he gets to the top of the drop, and you can see him processing what's going on out there. And he's up to speed. That's something that sometimes quarterbacks that are really good arm guys, really athletic, never get there. I think he's there, and that is the fulcrum from which the lever changes to where, okay, now it's time to pay him. The timing is right. The player has what it takes for us to win a Super Bowl if we do a good enough job to surrounding him with talent. I believe he's there. And so now you pull the trigger. You don't wait. What does Greg Gard always say, or one of the coaches always, hesitate, too late kind of thing? LaFleur.
Indecisive equals ineffective.
LaFleur
likes to say.
Yeah. That's
You're being decisive.
That's the same thing. If I'm the general manager, he would be throwing the ball to Davante Adams right now, and Aaron Rodgers would be gone. That's some of the only hot takes I've had about the Packers. It was definitely time for Rodgers to go, and now my hot take is it's time to pay Jordan Love. Give him the bully pulpit from which to lead the franchise. He's put in his time. He's shown enough. He's our best chance to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. Period. End of story.
We were having a great day, and then you had to reach this again.
I had to use logic. I had to use logic and came up with a point that's correct, and now you're second-guessing yourself.
Hard to believe you would go a little bit too far after one game against the Chargers.
Jason, let me ask you guys both. Jesse,
Derek, yes,
I know
please.
I'm almost done.
Yes.
Can you think of another quarterback scenario that gives us a better chance to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years than to have Jordan Love play under center?
Caleb Williams on a rookie contract.
No. Caleb Williams can't win in college.
Michael Penix Jr.
No.
Drake May. You guys drink the Kool-Aid. You don't think of the context
Aiden, whatever your guy is in Vegas, they trade him away to the Packers for Jesse.
Aiden O'Connell and Davante Adams looking pretty good right now.
Package
fellas.
deal.
Looking pretty good.
The fact that Bryan Gutekunst totally flubbed the deal with Devontae is not Jordan Love's fault. And the fact that we decided to build a youth and not keep Mercedes Lewis and all the other things we talked about having experienced veterans in the locker room to help speed this process is not Jordan Love's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Those are front office problems. What I'm seeing on the field from him, without any go-to guy, he is literally creating go-to guys. We need a big throw down the field in a tough spot. Wicks. He's got Wicks into the. And you look at the stats, he's got 18 completions over 30 yards. It leads the NFL. He's doing a lot of really good things with a team of guys that can't make the reads late into plays to get open yet. That's the differentiator between great. You look at Mahomes, you look at Russell Wilson at his peak, you look at Aaron Rodgers at his peak. It's these guys creating first downs and creating offense after the original play breaks down. When we get to that point with our receivers and at the tight end position, he's going to look even better. And then we're all going to be sitting here saying, well, no one ever give me credit. Nobody does. It goes back to Quintez Cephas. He's the best chance for us to win a Super Bowl until somebody can sit in front of me and say, wrong, this guy or this scenario is what we need to work toward, and it's plausible. You don't have much of an argument against me. I'm right.
Bo Nix.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of flavors of the day. We got our guy. Give him his money.
We got our guy. Give him his money.
He's a good man. He's a good teammate.
Jordan Love is the flavor of the day. 3 weeks ago, Bo Nix has been more consistent this year than Jordan Love has been.
I'm surprised by you guys. I'm surprised that you would come here with this kind of. It's Tom Oates rubbing off on you a little bit with some of his. You guys are getting a little older, a little long in the tooth, and you got to be negative about things. We have curated this player for 4 seasons. It's his time. Pay him. He is playing at a level that can take us where we need to go. We don't wait. We don't hesitate. That's not a winning culture.
Not what Derek Blakesley does. That's not what PDS does. They fix your IT problems immediately. They act. And so do you. And you're signing Jordan Love to an extension right now today.
Jason,
Derek, it's been a joy.
It's always fun to listen to you talk about your hedging philosophy as being the only way to go. It's only got us 2 Super Bowls in the last couple of decades. It's time to be definitive. Sign him.
Okay.
Spicy ending there.
It was.
I believe strongly about it. I mean, it what's need to happen. You don't wait.
All right. I have neither the time nor the inclination to go back and listen to previous iterations of this segment and your thoughts on the current Green Bay Packers quarterback. We will revisit this along with the bowl-eligible Badgers as they head toward Detroit, I'm sure, which is where the Packers are tomorrow or Thursday.
Are we going this year? We were going to go last year.
You guys don't even know who they're playing, what day of the games. It's Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. We play against the Detroit Lions, and I think we're going to beat that football team. Because any time in the NFL, when everybody's telling you how, it's not going to go well, the Lions are really good, we're on a short week, well, this is going to be a tough one. We'll steal one on Thursday.
All right, and Jordan Love will continue his new contract drive on behalf of Derek Blakesley on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, with a win over the Detroit Lions. You heard it here first. You may have only heard it here.
I bet my mama's mashed potatoes on it. It's going to be a big day for Jordan and the Pack.
Thanks, Derek.
You bet.
That is Derek Blakesley, the Badgers Outsider, presented by PDS. He can give his opinions. He's got lots of them. But it doesn't matter because the only thing that there's more of than Derek's opinions are the great deals during the best deals of the season sale at Steinhafels on your new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhafels. Tempur-Pedic mattresses relieve pressure points and support the body like no other mattress can. And right now you can save up to $500 on adjustable base sets, plus get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Queens start at just $42 a month when you use their special 72-month financing. So shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. But you know what you can't trust? Wisconsin's winter weather. With temperatures dropping, you better make sure your vehicle is ready for the winter roads. Get your vehicle prepared now so you don't have any issues when that pesky snow gets worse the next couple months. I recommend stopping in to see the amazing service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires. That's a big one for the winter. Change the oil and make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape. You can take my word for it. Whether you're making a holiday weekend trip, driving your kids all over the place for sports tournaments, or simply getting to work on time when the snow can slow you down, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. And by everything, we mean top products by your favorite brands. From Blackstone to Blue Buffalo, Carhartt to Cooper, Milwaukee to Muddy, Scott's to Science Diet, DeWalt, Levi's, Purina, Husqvarna, Goodyear, Rapala, Vortex, whew, and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
We're here.
You brought me to a cornfield to see a scarecrow?
Well, the mortgage lender said the money for our home is in Scarecrow.
I think they said escrow.
Oh.
There's a lot to learn when buying your first home. That's why UW Credit Union offers home loans with local expertise and a lowest closing cost commitment to make the journey easy. UW Credit Union. Apply today. Equal housing lender.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the feeling of love. Put your hands up, make them turn and turn. Give me the feeling.
Thanks to Derek Blakeslee, who's been known to go overboard once or twice, whether he admits it or not. We segue from him to O'Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
on Wilde and Tausch.
I just deleted something from our video stream. I don't know what I just did. Whoopsie.
You deleted something?
Yeah, I got clicky fingers by accident there. Okay, anyway. It's Feast Week in college basketball. Tausch is down at the Fort Myers tip-off, our on-court correspondent with his stellar photography, like those on the video stream are about to see once again. One more time today, right now. Oh, yeah.
Good-looking finger.
Finger in
Good
the picture.
looking finger.
Yeah, classic photography. So where does Feast Week, I think that's what we call this, where does this stack up in the weeks of college basketball in your college basketball week power rankings?
So it's a feast of basketball?
It's Thanksgiving feast.
That's clever, yeah.
All these, feasts.
Why do they call it Cornucopia Week?
College basketball cornucopia we could go with, sure. I like that too. I think ESPN goes with Feast Week, but I like the cornucopia.
Okay.
Last night, I'm sitting up watching Bradley play until 11:30 at night out in Southern California, and then I get the whole second half of the Marquette game as they tip off at 10:30 at night before they finish up in the Maui Invitational. To me, the opening weekend of March Madness is unparalleled because it's just different stakes, different quality, everything about the pageantry of it.
Sure.
Feast Week is number 2. College Basketball Conference Tournament Week is number 3. Because Feast Week, you get the games that are going till the insane times in the early hours of the morning. And they start at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. sometimes these days coming up. This is amazing. I love this sports week.
Yeah, no. I like the conference tournaments. You know, the NCAA tournament, the opening 4 days are what I love the most about that. Because it is wall-to-wall basketball. And it's upsets, and it's all those great things. This is way, way, way down on the power rankings. Yeah. I mean, I missed both.
What are you going to take, like a random week in January better than this? No way.
I will, because it's not Packers season. Like, my focus, obviously the Packers are still going on. By January, at least this season, maybe not, though. They'll be close to done by mid-January. But, no, I missed the Marquette game and the Wisconsin game. Now, tonight I have writing to do. The girls have some activities. Maddie's got another nutcracker rehearsal. Sid's got volleyball practice and gymnastics practice. So I will watch some Marquette tonight while I write.
Maui.
It's a Wowie from Maui. Hopefully it continues for the Golden Eagles.
Whoa, Nelly!
Number 1 and number 4 tonight. 9:30 tip. Stay up late. Get your naps in. This is a hypothetical question I thought of last night while I was watching the Maui Invitational, Jason.
Okay.
And so I would sign up to do this because I would love to do a Tausch and go to the Fort Myers tip-off or the Cancun Classic or the Maui, whatever the case may be. If we were offered as a show, me, you, Tausch, Josh DiMaggio, and pick a fifth, Homer, Demovsky, Bulaga, whomever. We're offered to go. We get all expenses paid to go compete in the Sports Radio Invitational in Hawaii or Southern California or the Bahamas, wherever we go. Tropical paradise, but we have to play 3 games. Essentially, like pickup basketball. We got our squad of 5, and we play our equivalents from Dallas and LA and Seattle, and everyone's at the Sports Radio Invitational. Are you signing up for an all-expense-paid trip, but you got to play 3 games with me, Tausch, Josh, and Homer?
How does your brain work exactly?
It's late at night watching the Maui Invitational. Bill Walton's on TV. Anything goes. Would you do it?
All right. So
3 pickup games.
Sure,
all expense paid.
I like basketball. I'm not. I wasn't a good defender before. I'm certainly not at my age now. I can linger around the 3-point line and jack up shots and make a few passes into the post. I'm questioning your GM acumen.
Well, it's got to be me, you, and Tausch. We're the
right.
Core
but if we're
here.
gonna add we're
the big 3.
We could certainly add Ashton Rotman. We could have the Twin Towers of Tausch and Ashy down low. We'd have to, I mean, we'd be foolish not to grab Brust, who
well, he's
is
not on the
obviously
show enough to be a, it's got to be a recurring.
So he's
got to
be somehow, because
Justin
then is left
Garcia's
out
in
too.
before Brust is.
Yeah, but
Brust might be on another team. He might be on the the KBN squad. Might also be invited. Yeah.
Wow, they've got a professional athlete in that group too.
They would win. Yeah.
Uh,
and we've got a professional athlete.
Professional pickleball player at this juncture. And we can't take Tony Smith either.
No, he's out. Yeah. Sports Radio Invitational.
What I don't understand is, shouldn't we be competing at what we do as opposed to playing basketball?
No, see, that's the hypothetical, is you get an all-expense tropical vacation for 3-4 days, go to the beaches and buckets is what they said.
But Greg Gard and his team are not at the Fort Myers tip-off playing tennis.
No, no. But they're at the pool during the day. Quit changing my hypothetical. This is my hypothetical. I say it's the Sports Radio Invitational. We pack
I'm not
the
going
high school
with you,
gym
then.
in Fort Myers or wherever. We get an all-expense-paid trip, but we got to play 20 minutes of basketball every day. Competitive basketball. Would you sign up for it?
No. Next.
Whoa, Nelly!
All right, quick one, because you got dogs. My dog keeps barking at himself.
Yeah.
His reflection in the
nice
in the mirror. And
hey, Mo!
I really yelled at him last night because he was really irritating me while I'm trying to listen to Levering calling the Badger game on TV.
Oh, jeez.
How do you get your dog to stop barking at his reflection?
How about giving him some attention? Go over there and pet him while you're watching.
He gets more than enough attention. This dog is not
He
shy
just
of
discovered.
attention.
I think he just discovered his reflection, though. That's what it is.
No, it's been like 4 weeks now that he's been, and it's like clockwork, 7 o'clock every night. He looks over in the mirror, Mo, knock it off. We open the door so we can see what's outside. He comes, still starts barking at it. We give him treats. That doesn't work. How do you get your dog to stop? The
reflection is in a mirror, or is it in the door?
Well, we got a sliding door that he sees it there, and then on the other side of the house, he sees it in the window that's pretty low to the ground. So we can't do much there.
Let me just end this segment by saying, well, good boy. Good boy, Mo. Way to get Jesse mad. I love it. Good boy. You're a good boy.
Felt bad. I really yelled at him last night. But
Well, don't do that.
Badger's
He's a
on
dog.
run. Yeah, and he's got to learn. He learned how to go outside. He's great at that.
I don't know about your coaching style. All right, that's it for Nelly. Jesse and I will wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The Wisconsin Badgers football team will look to regain the axe for the first time since 2020 this Saturday as they play Minnesota in the regular season finale. Former Badger Sojourn Shelton joined the Mr. Relevant podcast on Monday and stressed the importance of this rivalry.
It's huge, especially for the fact that it was brought to my attention that I think Minnesota only has 5 wins. What better feeling to not only win the axe back, send Minnesota home packing.
Find the full conversation with Sojourn Shelton wherever you get your podcast. Just search Mr. Irrelevant.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
At LASIK Plus, each one of our patients is unique, so we customize their journey to them.
I have a million questions about LASIK and a busy schedule.
All good. We offer free virtual consultations for just that reason.
I can't stand my contacts, but to be honest, I'm a little nervous.
We completely understand. We'll talk about treatment day, your surgeon, and what to expect.
I really need to stay within a certain budget.
We got you. LASIK Plus has financing options to get you where you need to be. From our free consultations to our patient app to our amazing staff and doctors, LASIK Plus is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. Let's talk about your journey. Book your free virtual consultation at LASIK Plus today.
Right now at LASIK Plus, get 20% off LASIK in December. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes with guaranteed financing. Visit mylasicoffer.com. Must mention this promotion and be treated in December of 2023 to qualify. 20% off standard price of procedure cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to mylasicoffer.com for details.
I'm attorney David Gruber. You've heard our slogan thousands of times, but we are much more than just one call. We are one team, one community, one family, and we're the one law firm that can get you the results and compensation you deserve after a serious accident. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
When I'm gone, I'm never really gone. You think you're moving on, but it won't be for long. You'll see when I'm gone, I'm never really gone. You
All right,
think
we
you're
managed to get
moving
through the
on,
entire
but
day after Tausch's late, last-minute fishing excursion. Jesse, how confident are we that he'll be here tomorrow?
I'm pretty confident. He was fairly concerned about his request today. I don't think he'll hit us with, unless he gets like marooned on Gilligan's Island or something out.
You think
on
he
the,
was concerned
on the ocean today?
You think he was concerned?
No, but I do
Okay.
think. I don't know. He better be here tomorrow. I don't know if we can do this 2 days in a row.
Oh, I'm sure we could. All right, well, we hope he caught a big one. I can't wait to hear his fish stories. Thanks to Rob Demovsky. Thanks to the Badgers Outsider. Thanks to Bryan Bulaga. And thanks to you for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts